We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik, and this is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. It's Tuesday, October 17th. Your top story, a police presence outside of Milwaukee High School.
I'm Amy Taylor. Major UW system changes.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we do have an accident to start things off. 41 southbound at Hampton. They're off on the shoulders, so we've got both sides kind of being affected. 16 minutes from Highway Q to the zoo. Southbound on 43, backing up from before Silver Spring all the way down past Locust, with the northbound side right about at Locust to Keefe is where you're seeing the delays there. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Partly cloudy, a low of 45 tonight. Wednesday, increasing clouds, still mild. Some scattered showers later in the day with a high of 64. 58 degrees in Milwaukee at 3:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a developing story that we're following. A large police presence currently outside James Madison High School at 81st and Florist. Milwaukee Police Department says there's an initial report of a stabbing with multiple patients, and an initial sweep of the school is clear with only one patient found having a seizure. More details as they become available.
The Universities of Wisconsin is ending in-person instruction at 2 campuses and closing down another campus.
UW President Jay Rothman made the announcement this morning.
We are closing the UW Platteville Richland campus and ending in-person instruction at UW Milwaukee at Washington County and at UW Oshkosh at Fond du Lac County.
In all, Rothman says about 500 students will be affected. He says the decision was made not because of money, but rather because students were trending toward degrees at their 4-year campuses or online. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Well, a key vote in Madison today where the Assembly is expected to take up the latest American Family Field funding proposal. TMJ4's Sydney Uri is outside the stadium.
The latest version of the bill actually reduces the amount of money required by local taxpayers, and the Assembly bill that was just updated Thursday cuts Milwaukee County's contributions in half to match what the city of Milwaukee would pay. That amount is $2.5 million a year for the next 27 years.
Governor Evers, Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley, and Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson have all signaled their support for the latest proposal.
A group of Wisconsin Republican lawmakers has rejected the appointment of Joseph Sarnecki to the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Sarnecki was rejected after he joined Democratic commissioners in abstaining from a vote to reappoint Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf. Evers appointed Sarnecki to the spot in May after retired Sheboygan County Clerk Julie Glancy stepped down 3 years before the end of her term.
Well, State Senate Democrats taking a victory lap today after their Republican colleagues this week admitted that they cannot lawfully remove Elections Administrator Megan Wolf. In a court filing, attorneys for the parties trying to remove Wolf from her post stated she was legally holding her position despite numerous attempts to oust her following the 2020 presidential election. Senate Minority Leader Melissa Agard.
Our elections in Wisconsin are safe and secure. They are fair. And instead of rolling back abilities for people to vote and creating and feeding false narratives, we need to continue to lift that up.
A separate effort to remove Wolf from the WEC via impeachment has been introduced in the state assembly, but has not advanced to a vote.
Tragedy strikes the Arrowhead High School football program and the community at large. Tom Tarasco, who transformed the school's football program into a powerhouse, was killed over the weekend in a car crash. According to police, the 71-year-old died after a single-vehicle accident in Heartland. During his tenure at Arrowhead, Tarasca amassed more than 250 victories and led the team to 4 state championships. He retired in 2010.
Well, the preseason continues for the Bucs tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Our coverage gets underway following the 6 o'clock news. The Packers sign veteran running back James Robinson, a former 1,000-yard rusher with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 3:04.
This report is sponsored by Creative Planning. Give your wealth a second look. CreativePlanning.com.
Smart investors make their savviest moves at year-end. Let us show you how to be one of them. Go to creativeplanning.com/radio and request your free end-of-year plan, an essential blueprint for maximizing wealth, minimizing taxes, and setting the stage for a prosperous year ahead. Making the right moves before the end of 2023 could put some serious money back in your pocket. This offer is only available till Monday at midnight. Go to creativeplanning.com/radio to request your free plan today.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Retro Foam and Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact NX Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at nxwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Hi, John McGivern here. Did you know Network Health has Medicare Advantage plans that give you $25 a month back towards your Medicare Part B premium? That's $300 a year back in your pocket. Isn't that great? Call 833-7-NETWORK to learn more today. Network Health Medicare Advantage plans include PPO plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Network Health Medicare Advantage plans depends on contract renewal. Certain restrictions apply to the Part B giveback. Visit networkhealth.com/Medicare/extra benefits for details.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Haul away big savings this weekend at Fleet Farm's Truckload Savings Event. Like 40-pound bags of Superior Hardwood Fuel Pellets, 2 for $11. Morton Clean and Protect Water Softener Pellets are only $5.89 a bag. Save on 40 pounds of black oil sunflower seed, just $18.99. And get a free $15 Fleet Farm gift card with select Science Diet pet food. Stock up on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Is your paycheck not going as far as it used to? You'll make good money at John Deere Horicon Works. Full-time factory workers at John Deere Horicon Works start at $23 to $25 per hour plus health insurance with no premiums and annual wage increases. Potential bonuses, $1,000 sign-on bonuses, and more at John Deere Horicon Works. So if you're tired of that small paycheck, move up to the big time at John Deere Horicon. Apply now at Deere.com/Horicon. That's Deere.com/Horicon.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Floor Coverings International. They're doing the flooring in my house, and it is awesome. You get a rave-worthy experience with Floor Coverings International, the stars of flooring. Now enjoy special financing and save hundreds off on new floors during FCI's Save with the Stars event. Enjoy FCI's all-star service, including the mobile flooring showroom. I love that. Thousands of options, down to the penny quotes, and professional installation by one local team for your entire project. Offer ends 11/30/23, so schedule your in-home consultation today at FCIpromo.com. Offer good at participating locations.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's Greg Matzek.
Greg Matzek and Amy Taylor with you on a Tuesday afternoon. What a beautiful fall day, about 60 degrees. Going to be a little warmer tomorrow. We are drying out after the rain event over the weekend, and we've got a stacked show for you tonight. Major Garrett's going to join us coming up at about 3:45. The latest on everything happening in Israel. President Biden is scheduled to make a visit there tomorrow, and we remain in search for a House Speaker. Part of what we are covering this afternoon.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
All right, Amy, where do we begin?
We begin in Wisconsin, where the state assembly is still in session, but expected to approve a modified stadium funding plan.
Yeah, it was thought possibly the vote would be in by now, but nonetheless, they are still meeting the state assembly to approve a compromise plan to spend about $500 million, in fact, a little more than $500 million, to help recover repairs at the Brewers Stadium. It's a Republican-authored proposal, but it has garnered bipartisan support. You have everyone from Democratic Governor Tony Evers to Mayor Cavalier Johnson, County Executive David Crawley, all reiterating their backing of the plan. that's a step in the right direction. And this vote, once approved, is another step in the process. So we feel like it's coming here. Total dollars and values, who's on the hook for what. You know, we could go through all the numbers here, but step one is getting this approval.
And a little bit of a compromise, as you were saying. The funding calls for the state to contribute $411 million, as you were saying, which is about like $200 million less than originally called for. So compromise is good, people.
Yeah, and the Brewers have said they'll contribute $100 million to repairs and extend their lease through 2050. You know, as part of this revised plan, it included the winterizing of the stadium to make it a more year-round sort of venue. Also, the idea of at least exploring the framework of what development in that area, specifically the parking lots, could look like down the road some point.
What to do with all that tailgate space and whether to develop it into restaurants or make it a multi-use type of venue.
Yeah. I think that's a long-term goal, perhaps, to secure stadium funding. I think is goal number one. There is a budget surplus, and I think that's part of the reason why the Brewers are trying to initiate this conversation 7 years out from their lease expiring. I get it. Makes a lot of sense. So we are tracking that today. We'll keep you updated as events warrant. What's next?
The search continues for a House Speaker in the United States. That continues in Washington, D.C. today.
Yeah, GOP lawmaker who voted against Jim Jordan has called the House Speaker role the worst job in America.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Does anybody really want this thing? Do we feel like Jim Jordan really wanted this thing?
Do you ever sleep?
I don't know. It's just such a bizarre time right now. So he failed to win the House speakership on the first ballot. They had 20 Republicans vote against Jim Jordan. So he earned 200 votes. What I found interesting is that House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, who's a Democrat, won 212 votes. He actually had more votes than Jordan. So really, we're back to square one. I mean, neither is enough to secure the gavel.
Right. You could see that immediately as they got to the count. You could hear the House erupt in cheers when it became clear that Jordan wasn't going to pass the votes that he needed. And so now he goes back downstairs to the basement to literally re-persuade everyone, that he can, that he should be the person for this job. And it's a wearing down process. That's his goal, is to wear these people down.
Yeah, it's a wearing down process at the start, and then you get into the role and they wear you down, is kind of what happened to McCarthy.
Down and out.
It's a clear, important time in our nation's history right now to have somebody in place to push through legislation. Right now, with the war in Israel, the war in the Ukraine, our own government funding is running out in about a month. It's a critical time.
That's coming right up, and we have no leadership right now.
No, we have closed-door meetings, right? I mean, that's what's happening right now to get this sorted out. So it is a bit of a mess. Major Garrett will join us coming up to talk through more of the details here at 3:47. And finally,
turning now to Israel, President Biden is heading to Jerusalem.
He is. So he'll be there on Wednesday as he seeks to demonstrate support for the country while also pressing for ways to ease humanitarian suffering in Gaza. Over 3,000 people have been killed in the Gaza Strip since last Saturday, the unprecedented attacks with Hamas. We'll see. It's a very critical time. I can tell you this, and we'll talk more about this throughout the program. It would appear those in Jerusalem are grateful for President Biden's visit, but we'll see what becomes of it. He is certainly condemning the Hamas and their terrorist attacks, but what sort of support will actually be there?
Well, now it's turning into let's hit every neighboring country, as Anthony Blinken did, end up going to Egypt to try to garner their support,
yes,
and to try to keep the entire Middle East together through this process.
Very contentious time. So we'll go through the details and the timing of the president's visit to Jerusalem. Again, Major Garrett joins us at 3:47. Got a packed show today, and Bucks basketball coming up at 6 o'clock. It's 3:13 on WTMJ.
Your weekly Bucks breakdown is back.
They want to win equally as bad as I do.
Bucks Weekly on WTMJ.
Now he joins a team where you have, as he has put it, the best player in the league.
And a new year brings new faces.
You'll see that I've gotten better year after year after year after year.
Get the latest news, analysis, and insight on your Milwaukee Bucks all season long. Bucks Weekly with Justin Garcia every Monday night at 8 on WTMJ. And catch the podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Greg Matzik for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac, asking you to drive inspired this fall, winter, and beyond in a new all-wheel drive Mazda car or crossover, or how about a Mazda certified pre-owned model? Hey, the SUV season sales event is going on with attractive financing and other great offers, comfortably low lease payments, and more. So make holiday your destination. Get more Mazda for your money, more for your trade, and enjoy their simplified buying approach and exceptional guest care. It is the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over. I'm one of them. Have been for years, as a matter of fact. I know we can trust on Team Holiday to come through for us. They'll do the same for you. Passionate fans have earned Holiday top honors as Wisconsin's #1 Mazda dealer, #1 Mazda certified pre-owned dealer, and the Badger State's only recipient of the prestigious Mazda President's Club Award. So find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
What's the way to build your wealth?
I want to talk about annuities and variable life insurance policies. And I'm going to come right out and say that I've never been a fan of either. In fact, in over 30 years, I have rarely recommended annuities to clients. And in that same time, I've never recommended a variable life insurance policy. Now, it's always a matter of opinion, and there are two sides to every story. I just want to make sure that you've heard both sides for both options. So if you're looking at those types of products, give us a call, because it's prudent to hear all sides. At the very least, we can give you the pros and cons and help you make a good decision. I'm Jim Cantrell with Financial Strategies, Inc., a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
Traffic is sponsored by Smart Spaces. Adapt to the modern workplace. SmartSpacesWI.com.
How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Creating technology, great culture, spaces that people really want to come to, attract talent, and keep that talent.
SmartSpacesWI.com.
Traffic and weather, it's 3:16 on WTMJ. Debbie Laska with our first look at the roads. Hey, Deb.
All right. Hey there. Yeah, we've got an accident on southbound 41 right about at Hampton Avenue. We've got cars on either side. Things are backing up all the way back to Appleton Avenue, so please be extra careful with that. We've also got an accident on 94 eastbound right about at 26th Street. This is off on the right shoulder. I think they're waiting for a squad to get there, so just heads up with that. It's just starting to get a little bit heavy right past that scene. Otherwise, southbound 43, as per what you would expect, from Bender Road all the way down to about Locust is where we're seeing delays. It's 21 minutes to get from Brown Deer Road into downtown. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Well, comfortable afternoon here with temperatures topping out about 61 degrees. It's currently 58. Going to be down into the mid-40s overnight with a high of 64 and a chance of rain on Wednesday. 58 degrees in Milwaukee at 317. Chief White House correspondent Major Garrett will join us coming up at 3:45. You don't want to miss this in the 5 o'clock hour. He is formerly the head basketball coach at Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Bruce Pearl is now the head basketball coach at Auburn. He is a practicing man of the Jewish faith, and he took his team to Jerusalem about a year ago. I'm going to have a very interesting conversation, very curious his perspective on what's happening in Israel and if he got out of that trip what he wanted to with his team about a year ago. That's coming up at about 5:09. It's Tuesday for us, which means day number 2 of the work week. Are we getting to a point where Thursday will be the end of our work week? Well, the idea of a 4-day work week is starting to gain some steam here internationally, Amy. So Ireland, Belgium, South Africa, the UK, Spain have all tested a 4-day work week. Not in every sector, but they're just experimenting with this idea. And they are seeing overwhelmingly positive results. The results of the 4-day work week have yielded an increase in productivity.
Interesting.
And
increased productivity.
They believe more hours of the day are dedicated to getting the work done than some of the fluff that makes up your day, like the extended lunch break or
there's
whatever.
A lot of fluff. I mean, and people, let's face it, people are also dealing with their stuff, their personal lives.
Sure.
And getting to and from work is also a big deal.
The other part of it they're seeing an increase in is company morale, team culture, where individuals are reaping the benefits for their health, their finance, and relationships. So we all have these like errand days, right, where you just kind of got to get stuff done. Well, oftentimes, these are falling on Saturdays and Sundays where you'd prefer to just spend that time with your family, maybe doing something fun together instead of, I don't know, running to Costco. Well, that is becoming increasingly difficult to do in the 5-day work week when you have 2 working adults in your household. But is this gaining steam in the United States? Could it ever happen?
Well, there's actually an opinion piece written by a Stanford professor who says that he has the data to show that Americans are actually showing up at work in less numbers than ever. Not the pandemic time, obviously, when we were at like 62% full-day work happening at home. But now, back in July, we are up to 31% of Americans spending a third of their work days at home, which is really surprising to me, but not if you look at downtowns. These hybrid work arrangements have kind of killed the return to office hype. And I know this is probably frustrating for managers, but employees are saying that it's better for them to work, as you're saying, at home, and it equates to an 8% raise because of this, of not having to deal with the commuting and not having to deal with, childcare concerns. I think that's a huge cost for people and a huge worry for people who are, raising families and trying to get to school, and then also get their kids to school. Also, you have the Zoom phenomenon, and that I think is really here to stay. And it actually has shown he's able to show that this progress is accelerating production in the American workforce, which is just unbelievable. 75% of startups now are allowing people to remote work. That's huge. So this is going to be a continued thing for Americans, I think, to be able to do this.
I've talked to my parents about things like this, and, they were born in the 40s, and technology did not allow my dad to work from home in the banking industry, right? It was before the internet age, before the personal computer age. Like, you had to go to work. You had to clock in and work. You couldn't do work at home.
Right.
And in the 60s, it was less than 1% of work being done at home. Maybe you had a sales position where you had a home office and were out and about sort of doing your things, but the majority of jobs were very difficult to do at home for the longest of times. That's no longer the case for some of the reasons you mentioned. So the experiment used in other countries and being used in the United States to a smaller degree uses a 100-80-100 model. Workers get 100% of the pay for working 80% of the time in exchange for 100% of their usual output, which means you're humming. When you're on, right? There's not as much fluff. You're just cranking through.
Which I love. That's what I love about this job, being in news, is like it is like the hot seat, and you're getting stuff done. And I think it does drive people to be productive. I think the setup process of being a remote work in the beginning, when there were, 64% of Americans working from home during the beginning of the pandemic, that was very it was an onboarding process, right? Mm-hmm. I got to get my computer. I got to get used to my address on the top, or whatever, pajamas on the bottom, that kind of stuff. But now people have it down. My husband does a lion's share of his work on a screen with other people, just, talking to 12 people at a time for hours,
So a 4-day work week. Global and autonomy tout the experiment as a resounding success. 92% of companies say they're continuing with the 4-day work week after experimenting, that they're just going to move on with it.
I'm sorry, this was in Europe, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know if it even applies to this job and this business, the 4-day work week. It's just a little different. But I am curious on our text line here.
News is 24/7, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Does it apply to you? Do you work for a company that has talked about this, that has explored the idea of a 4-day work week? Hit us up on the talk and text line here.
We're not saying complete remote work, which is the case for a lot of really qualified people who are hard to get and retain work from home. The downside is, the downtowns, I think, have suffered. But look at Milwaukee. It's making, I think, a major comeback. And we've talked about that on the show, that the downtown is, getting Fiserv or, these big companies, Milwaukee Tool, that are moving in and stimulating business down here.
No doubt. Headquarters are being moved to downtown Milwaukee. Right. It is happening. So 4-day work week should not be confused with work at home.
Right.
It's a little different.
It is different.
But the idea here is that you will have the extra time for healthy habits, reduced stress, extra personal time, leading to positive health, company culture, things along that line.
4-day work week also, you still have time to learn your job. I think that is one of the concerns about people being remote is who's mentoring the next generation to be excellent.
Very good point.
Or knowledgeable.
Hit us up on the text line here. It's 855-616-1620. The talk and text line is open. The Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620. I'm curious if it applies to your place of work, if it makes sense, or if it doesn't, or if your company has explored doing this. My wife works in HR for a big company in Milwaukee. And yes, they have conversations about this kind of stuff. It doesn't make sense for them yet. It might at some point.
But don't they have some employees who are at home for some of the time?
Well, yes, because it's a global company, and some of my wife's peers are in California or Canada. So they have entirely different operations. And my wife works from home a few days a week.
Right.
She goes in a few days a week. And that's the expectation, that she's in, I believe, 3 days a week.
Right. She's meeting the expectation. And it's but it's difficult now for managers to get somebody excellent like your wife. She has a little more say, right? She has a little more power and authority to say, okay, I'm doing this job. I'm meeting the expectations. I'm going to be home for a couple days.
She does. And she's also, it works in an HR division where she's trying to be as compliant as possible. And she does, right?
Yes,
she does what she needs to do and has as many in-person meetings as possible. But the nature of the business in that company is that there's people all over the world who she works with. So sometimes she's up at 10 at night or 6 in the morning on a call with someone international.
Well, that's the
works.
real downside to the remote work thing is that it just kind of never stops. I have the same situation with my husband. I mean, the phone is ringing. But you and I, matter of fact, were emailing at 11:30 last night, right?
No, it's also true.
So it's like who is safe from that?
I do have a note on the text line saying we work Monday through Thursday, 10 hours a day. It's amazing.
Oh.
Really helps morale. We're allowed to come on Fridays for optional overtime. It's a manufacturing facility.
Oh, that's cool.
Very interesting
stuff. I like
stuff.
hearing about that.
Yeah, the conversation is certainly not going away, but I wanted to share some of the results from other countries that are finding extreme success. Major Garrett coming up at 3:47. ABC's Alex Stone at 4:09. We are packed on a Tuesday here. Wisconsin's Afternoon News continues after this.
Do you cringe when you look at your high school pictures? So much has changed. From your hair, today you might not have any, or maybe it's a completely different color. How about the innocence of your smile? We grow up and learn the world is bigger than we thought. It's the same with your money. Your views of wealth, legacy, and taxes have all grown up. Has your financial plan? At Annex Wealth Management, our team of tax experts can help you understand how your plan could improve. The Annex team will show you strategies that could help safeguard your wealth. And because we're fee-only fiduciaries, you won't have to put up with high-pressure sales or advice that isn't in your best interest. As you accumulate more wealth, there's a chance your tax pictures become more complex. The Annex Tax Smart Strategy Review will give you insights on your current tax plan and help build a framework to prioritize tax strategies. Take a proactive approach. Get an Annex Wealth Management Tax Smart Strategy Review. Visit annexwealth.com/taxsmart.
I'm looking for the fastest and easiest way to sell my home, and I keep hearing one name over and over. So I ask people, why Grandview Homes instead of a real estate agent?
We needed to sell Mom's home quickly and with a company we could rely on.
We settled on Grandview based primarily on reputation.
Was the house in rough shape?
Yeah.
She accumulated 50 years worth of stuff.
It was very convenient to just leave everything I did not want and not worry about it. They took out all the stress of emptying and cleaning the home.
That sounds pretty easy.
And no showings, no closing costs, no staging, no real estate agent fees, no added stress.
Okay, that is easy.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. We buy every home as is, and you'll get a fair cash offer in just hours. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam. And Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm Jessica Gatso. Your top story, reports of a potential stabbing at a high school in Milwaukee.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 41 still have this accident at Hampton on both shoulders, so it's going to be slow from basically Good Hope Road all the way down to the accident scene. Northbound is backing up a bit, basically from Blue Mound Road up past Swan Boulevard. Southbound on 43, heavy from before Bender Road all the way down to about Locust. And then on eastbound 94, we're seeing backups from about 68th Street all the way through the stadium. We did have an earlier accident right about at 25th Street, but that's been taken off the freeway. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 45. On Wednesday, increasing clouds and mild with scattered showers. Later in the day, a high of 64. At 3:30, it's 60 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a developing story, a large police presence is currently outside James Madison High School at 81st and Florist. Milwaukee Police Department says there's an initial report of a stabbing with multiple patients, and an initial sweep of the school is clear with only one patient found having a seizure. Parents are being sent to the entrance on 83rd Street to meet their children. We'll provide more details as they become available. Wisconsin legislators are discussing as we speak, preparing to vote on the latest American Family Field funding proposal. Questions remain over how much the local contribution should be from both the city and county of Milwaukee.
County Supervisor Peter Bergelis tells TMJ4 News he's happy local services won't see cuts in the latest proposal.
My biggest concern is that we would have previously had to cut services to make that contribution to the stadium. The version now eliminates the cuts to services that I was concerned about, that my constituents are concerned about.
But fellow County Supervisor Saquana Taylor says she's concerned about local spending priorities taking a back seat to the stadium package.
I am absolutely thinking about those constituents who can't even think about going to a Brewers game because they don't have a place to sleep at night.
Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Tweaks to the current proposal have lowered the overall contribution the city and county would make to the $646 million package. A 16-year-old girl has been arrested in connection to a threat made against Cudahy High School.
The threat on Instagram included a picture of a rifle and a caption indicating a threat to shoot up the high school, which was removed about 30 minutes after it was posted. A coordinated response between authorities and the Cudahy School District led to the 16-year-old's arrest. Police say the individual had a connection to Cudahy High School, but did not reveal whether or not they were a student. The arrest comes one day after Oak Creek High School was evacuated due to a separate threat of still unknown origin. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Efforts to construct a new facility for the Milwaukee Public Museum receiving a major boost by way of a $2 million gift. The gift was given by former board members Ross and Mary Reed. The museum's campaign has so far raised $148 million, including $63 million in private donations, $45 million from Milwaukee County, and $40 million from the state. The fundraising goal is $240 million. The newly proposed building has a target opening date of 2026 and will include 5 stories and about 80,000 square feet of exhibit space. Interactive technology bringing a city's progress to life. The city of Racine released Smart City Story Map, an immersive web page that showcases the city's transformation into a smart city. Smart cities are defined by their commitment to innovation and progress through technology and sustainability. Racine received its Smart City designation in 2019, becoming the smallest city to win this award and the first smart city in Wisconsin. Racine Mayor Corey Mason says the new webpage helps residents understand the work being done to adapt the city for the 21st century, saying, quote, "This will help us amplify all the great initiatives we are focused on while connecting residents with our rich and innovative past." You can find the link on our website, WTMJ.com. A pediatric clinic on Milwaukee's north side will drastically reduce its services, impacting thousands of patients. According to TMJ4 News, the Children's Wisconsin Next Door Pediatric Clinic on 29th Street will stop primary care by December due to space and size constraints affecting their service. Within a week, hundreds of community members have started an online petition to keep all of the clinic's services intact. Children's Wisconsin says dental services will continue at that location. The preseason continues for the Bucks tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Coverage begins following the 6 o'clock news. And the Packers are reportedly signing veteran RB James Robinson. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 3:35.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here for St. Kate the Arts Hotel. If you're looking to start the weekend right, head to Bubbles and Brunch at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Every weekend from 9 to 1 in Giggly Champagne and Wine Bar, this brunch is anything but basic. The atmosphere is set with a local DJ spinning music to set the mood, while the hotel's acclaimed culinary team offers up a menu of elevated breakfast dishes. Add to the fun with endless mimosas. Experience a brunch that is anything but basic at Giggly Champagne and Wine Bar inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Reservations available online. Learn more by visiting stkatearts.com.
If you're like me, you always like to add a little something new to the wardrobe. But when money's tight, it makes it harder. And that's why you shop at St. Vincent de Paul for a terrific selection of women's clothing at thrift store prices. Brand names, too, with a selection that's always up to date and looking great. You're going to find something cute at the right price, and you're going to love it. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're going to love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Haul away big savings this weekend at Fleet Farm's Truckload Savings Event. Like 40-pound bags of Superior Hardwood Fuel Pellets, 2 for $11. Morton Clean and Protect Water Softener Pellets are only $5.89 a bag. Save on 40 pounds of black oil sunflower seed, just $18.99. And get a free $15 Fleet Farm gift card with select Science Diet pet food. Stock up on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
When big national banks make a decision, it requires many emails, phone calls, and plenty of video conferences from around the globe. When we make a banking decision, we do it over a cup of coffee in our office. Finding a local bank that's passionate about the community and knows your name is hard to find these days.
Good morning, Diane. Welcome back.
The search is over.
Waterstone Bank, proud to be your local bank for over 100 years. Love your bank as much as we love this community. Waterstone Bank, Waukesha, Milwaukee, and Washington County.
Member FDIC.
A decision we made that nobody believed in was the name change from PM Bedroom Gallery to Penny Mustard.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Well, we knew the name fit right away. Yeah. But I remember after we announced that, the Journal Sentinel in Milwaukee ran an article. And I remember counting, there was 145 comments. 143 were negative and some extremely negative. The other one might have been our mom.
PennyMustard.com.
So I guess the moral of the story is, if you know something's right and everybody else says it's not the thing to do, go with your gut. Yep.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Floor Coverings International. They're doing the flooring in my house, and it is awesome. You get a rave-worthy experience with Floor Coverings International, the stars of flooring. Now enjoy special financing and save hundreds off on new floors during FCI's Save with the Stars event. Enjoy FCI's all-star service, including the mobile flooring showroom. I love that. Thousands of options, down to the penny quotes, and professional installation by one local team for your entire project. Offer ends 11/30/23, so schedule your in-home consultation today at fcipromo.com. Offer good at participating locations.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
Greg Nancy and Amy Taylor with you on a Tuesday edition of Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Major Garrett, Chief White House Correspondent, is going to join us coming up at about 3:47. Joining us in studio right now, a doctor of a different variety. It's Dr. Ken Harris from 1017 The Truth as we celebrate Truth Day. 1017, 1017. See what we did there?
Yep.
That's all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good public school math.
You get it.
We absolutely get it. I think it's been amazing what the Truth team has built, yourself included, Dr. Ken. As we celebrate all things truth and Wisconsin and Milwaukee's only black talk station, Have you reflected on your time as a talk show host on The Truth, and are you getting out of it what you expected to get out of it?
Well, technically, we're not the only black talk radio station. We're just the best.
Okay, there you go.
Black talk radio station, the award-winning black talk radio station. I think in all those things that you said, yes. I think from one talk professional to another, it takes seeing something and watching what people do and going, yeah, they got it, right? And so we've always got support from 620. We've always had support from teammates who have just kind of said, hey, whatever you need, we're here. And we've always been able to turn around and look and see that they were always, hey, suggestions, things like that. And that's why we're here. Ironically, it's been 1,016 days.
Dr. Ken, I was reading your background about you just to brush up, and I think you've had such a fascinating life. You were born in Chicago. Can you talk about your experience in living in Milwaukee and how you landed in this seat here?
Well, I'm kind of half and half, right? So I lived in Chicago for 33 years, and I've lived in Milwaukee for 30 years.
Me too.
And so it's home, but it's not, how can I say this? It's home, but I'm not a homer. Does that make sense? I love everything about Wisconsin. Raised 2 kids here who have done remarkably well, and I don't think I could have done that anywhere else except here.
Because
the schools, my daughters both graduated from DSHA. The schools, both public and private, barring all the shenanigans and arguing, they've got some good schools here. Able to be in a good neighborhood in Milwaukee. Sherman Park, and the diversity and the acceptance is something that you just kind of know you're in the Midwest, right? So when this radio station pops up, you kind of go, that's kind of strange. But then over the time, you start to realize that and I know it's just indigenous to Good Karma Brands. It's not about the radio stations. It's about us. And so we've been embraced, and I kind of feel okay here the same way I felt in Chicago. It's like being home.
You do an incredible job infusing your experience into your show, which airs 4 to 6 on 101.7 The Truth, especially as a retired police lieutenant. Mm-hmm. What sort of expertise can you translate to the radio based upon your previous work experience, right? I mean, you know the ins and outs of the Milwaukee Police Department more than just about anybody. In fact, more than anybody on our air. For sure, on any of our Good Karma stations.
Okay. And so it comes down to really understanding procedure, understanding not what happens, but there are times when I get to explain why it happens. And so many times that's the extra information people need to go, okay, I'm okay with it. Let me be patient and wait for something to come. But usually many of the issues with police come from not knowing why. Like they see what happened, but they don't really understand why it happened. And so to be able to give people the mindset that when you wake up in the morning, I've known a number of my colleagues that put on their uniform and weren't able to take it off because they were dead. That mentality of going to work every day knowing it might be your last day is something that most people don't have and they don't understand. And so using that experience can help both sides be able to deal with each other and maybe mitigate some things and make it through some incident.
Do you still live in the city, right?
Yes.
And so how is life in the city of
Did
Milwaukee?
she just out me? I was trying to sneak.
Maybe.
I'm sorry. I'm
just
so
kidding.
sorry. No,
I
just
tell
think
everybody I live in the city.
Yeah, I think you do because I read an interview where you were
Yeah.
talking about it, and so I just wanted to know how life is in the city right now.
Life is fine.
You view it as a positive experience.
I'm used
and
to a
living
big city.
Yeah.
I'm a big city guy, so I don't do well in suburbs. Like I'm like, okay. Oh, look, everything closes 9:00. What? I mean, even Milwaukee, I'm like, I'm hungry.
It's a
Where you
little
going?
sleepy.
I'm driving to Chicago. I mean, when I was in Chicago and I get hungry and it's 2:00 in the morning, I had like 80 different places to choose. Here, I don't have 8.
Can you stay up that late now?
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm retired.
Night owl?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've been a night owl my entire life. I started my radio career working overnights at WGN 11:30 to 5:30 in the morning. So I've always been a night person. I love it.
Well, we're celebrating the Truth Day here on 101.7 The Truth, and you'll be starting your show in about 20 minutes. How are you celebrating the day on your program?
There's so much news, it might be in passing. No, we're gonna celebrate, and we're gonna listen to some of our callers, and we've got some vignettes that are gonna play to talk about all the things we've gone through the last 2 years, 10 months, and I think it'll be great because it's always been great just being here, part of Good Karma Brands. It's been a phenomenal experience, and I think I'm looking forward to about 3.5 more years.
Well, there we go. We always, I feel educated every time I talk to you, Dr. Ken. I do. He is the host of The Truth in the Afternoon on 101.7 The Truth, Dr. Ken Harris. Happy Truth Day, Dr. Ken. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
3:44 on WTMJ. Chief White House Correspondent Major Garrett joins us next. Will there ever be a Speaker of the House again? Well, we think so. When? That's the question. More after this. Wake up with me. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Tune in every Monday and Friday at 8:15 for Matzik's Morning Minute during Wisconsin's Morning News. Everything you need to know about all your favorite Wisconsin teams in just 60 seconds.
And a drive out to left. This is high, deep, gone!
Every Monday and Friday at 8:15 during Wisconsin's Morning News.
And I thought he did a lot of great things. I thought he showed great poise, made some off-schedule plays, made the throws when they needed to be made.
Sponsored by Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. Hey, thanks, Greg. Me again for Flanners Home Entertainment. You know the name. When was the last time you hopped into a Flanners? I'm telling you what, you are missing out if you haven't been to Flanners in a minute. And you can find Flanners online, of course, and in West Dallas and Grafton. They are the best in the business when it comes to upgrading your TV and audio system. They've been the pros in the know for decades. Growing up in Brookfield, man, it was a treat. You'd walk into Flanners, you'd see all this crazy and amazing stuff, and you still can, with a friendly and knowledgeable staff of people, experts who know what you're looking for, know how to point you in the right direction, and have your visit covered from A to Z. That's right, locally owned Flanners. Quality service, the best brands, guaranteed best prices, all top priorities. It's that kind of season, right? You're probably watching more games on TV, maybe gearing up for the holiday season, maybe looking ahead to a big event on the gridiron in February. Whatever the case, get yourself suited with Flanners Home Entertainment. Flanners, sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
What's the way to build your wealth?
While going over a new client's statements from one of the big financial firms, I was floored when I read that firm does not offer tax or estate planning advice. Because we know that saving money for our clients on their taxes, legally and well within the law, can make a huge difference in their financial plan. If you want to wisely build your wealth, it is my firm opinion that without a comprehensive approach, you're going to be at a big disadvantage. At Financial Strategies, Inc., we're taking a deep dive and creating comprehensive strategies that develop your retirement, investment, and your tax and estate planning. And all under a fee-only structure that means the success we care about most is yours. I'm Jim Cantrell, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
From the beginning, they were applauded. The music that sold over 100 million records. Chicago, Saturday, June 1st, Riverside Theater.
Make me smile.
The music of Chicago. Saturday, June 1st, Riverside Theater. Until Friday, October 20th, 10 a.m. at papstheatergroup.com. Chicago.
Traffic is sponsored by Harwood Place Senior Living. Join Harwood Place Retirement for a moving and downsizing seminar October 26th from 1 to 3 p.m. To RSVP or to schedule a tour, visit harwoodplace.org.
3:48, time for a look at the roads. Debbie Lonziga's got a peek. Hey, Deb.
Hey there. Yeah, we've got an issue on 794 southbound. The left lane is blocked just as you're getting onto the Hone Bridge. It's a broken down vehicle, so heads up with that. We've also got a couple of accidents now on 41 southbound. One just south of Silver Spring, and then another one right about at Hampton Avenue. Both of these are out of traffic, but there's enough there to make things slow down through there, so give yourself that extra time. Southbound on 43, up to a 23-minute ride to get from Brown Deer Road to downtown. That'll be an extra 12 onto your normal ride. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Nice, comfortable day. Going to be cool this evening with a low of 40 degrees inland. Chance of rain tomorrow later in the day with a high of 64. We stay mild. 58 degrees in Milwaukee at 3:49. .49 on WTMJ. It's Tuesday. That means time to check in with Chief White House Correspondent Major Garrett. And unfortunately, nothing is going on. We have nothing to talk about here with Major. Can't believe we have stumbled through this, Major.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack, and I don't think we're going to get to all of it, but we'll try.
We may not. Let's start with the House Speaker vote today. Were you surprised? There were conflicting reports that Jim Jordan was starting to sway voters in his favor. That ultimately did not work out. Now we're back to square one. Any surprises to you with today's vote?
I was surprised at the number of holdouts because it was larger than had publicly identified themselves. It was 20. Most people I had been talking to in GOP leadership ranks on the House side thought it would be 10 at the most, possibly lower. And with a threshold that close to the magic number of 217, they thought they could have another vote right after that and sort of engage members on the floor and wear them down in order to get unity and get a speaker.
So you're saying, Major, when you say holdout, you're saying people, you expected them to not support, you expected them to support Jordan, not you, personal you, but that was the sentiment.
When I use the word, what GOP leaders were thinking going to the floor today was the maximum number of votes for someone not named Jim Jordan would be 10 or lower. And it was 20. So what does that difference mean in practical terms, the difference between 10 and 20? Well, they thought, meaning GOP leaders and Jordan's allies within his office, thought if it's 10 or lower, then you have another vote right away on the House floor because you can wear them down in conversations and make them cast that vote again and again and basically force them to relent and get a speaker because they thought it was close enough within 10 votes to do that. They no longer think that. When it's 20 votes, they have a lot of work to do. And I'm not convinced, and no one I've talked to subsequent to that first vote is convinced that Jordan can do it. And here's the reason why. Those 20 not only are reflect unease broadly among the Republican conference about Jim Jordan as being speaker, they have very particular political interests in not being associated with the Jim Jordan speakership. They doubt whether or not they could be reelected in a general election with that. And there are other Republicans similarly positioned who voted for Jordan the first time who may not be there the second time. They may say, look, Jim Jordan, I told you I would be with you on the first ballot. It's a tough vote for me, but I'm not going back to this well a second time. And so I think everything is in a very fluid circumstance right now. I don't know if Jim Jordan, if he has another vote today, will get 200 votes, which is what he got the first time. He may get less than that. If you get less than that, then the trajectory starts to demonstrably go against you, and you find yourself the new Steve Scalise, who just has to throw in the towel because there's no chance.
Well, interestingly enough, he did receive some votes as well, but
right.
Jim Jordan didn't even receive more votes than anyone else. I didn't even know Hakeem Jeffries was in the running, but here we are. He received 212 votes. What does that say about the process?
Well, what that says is Democrats, as every minority party is unified for their person because they know unless there's some extraordinary compromise, much talked about, but nowhere near to being put in motion, he's not going to be the speaker. So you don't vote for somebody else. You maintain party unity. That's the only way the minority has any chance of flexing any muscle, atrophied though they are when you're in the minority in the House of Representatives. So what it also suggests is we're unified. We know what we want to do. That side over there, the majority party, still doesn't know what it wants to do. And the majority party's in charge of the House. We're not functioning because the majority party doesn't know what to do or how to get there. But we're going to be unified because we know what we want to do. And if some Republicans over there want to talk to us about maybe a compromise speakership and the rules on which that would occur, we're willing to talk about it. But the only way you can do that is to show your absolute unity behind one person, in this case, the Democratic Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries.
So we're seeing some reporting that the Senate isn't going to wait for the Republicans to elect, that they want to move forward on some of this legislation, especially for Israel. Are you hearing that?
Sure. Well, yes, of course. And the Senate can. The Senate can move its own legislation, which it has to, though, send over to the House. But it's not going to wait for the House. And one of the ways it can do this is there's pending legislation in the Senate that originated in the House. You can tack on anything you want to do for Israel, Ukraine, maybe Taiwan on that House-originated bill and meet the constitutional test of a House origination. Then you send it back to the House. It still has to go back to the House for approval, but the Senate will probably go ahead on that just to try to create some sense of legislative momentum and intention to help Israel, help Ukraine, possibly also Taiwan, but certainly Israel and Ukraine.
Chief White House Correspondent Major Garrett joining us on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Switching gears here, Major, President Biden will be on the ground in Israel tomorrow to meet with both Israeli and Arab leadership. What message do you expect him to send?
A very consistent one, but with I want to use my words carefully here because I don't want to suggest the president is going to be anything other than forthrightly behind Israel's obligation to itself and to its citizens to not only defend itself, but to carry out military action against Hamas, for more than 1,300 Israeli civilians slaughtered on October 7th. However, the president will also say things like following the rules of war and adhering to a generalized support to relieve, if it can be negotiated, the suffering of non-Hamas Palestinian civilians. In the Middle East, using careful language is among the very first diplomatic rules you learn. And you can be supportive of Israel and its right to carry out its military objectives and look out for the interests of Palestinian civilians. But oftentimes in that region and broadly, one audience hears one thing but not the other, or the second thing but not the first. What we do know about this trip is there will be no ground invasion while the president is flying to Israel, in Israel, or having just left Israel. Because the United States government does not want to sound or look on the global stage as if it is sounding the trumpet to announce the ground invasion. And also, the president wants to meet face-to-face with Arab leaders and say, look, there is a humanitarian crisis for the non-Hamas Palestinians, and you need to help out. You can no longer say this is only an Israeli or an American problem. If you care about the future of the Palestinians and their ability to live free of Hamas, you've got to help out in this circumstance. Because Israel has made it clear, Hamas will be eradicated one way or the other. And if the Arab nations don't step in to assist the non-Hamas Palestinians, they will suffer more than if they do. And I think that's another message the president will send. He may not say it in the words I just used. He may convey most of those things I just said privately, but that will be among the messages delivered.
He is the chief Washington correspondent and the author of The Big Truth. And check out his podcast, the Takeout Podcast and the Debrief on CBS. Major Garrett joins us every Tuesday here on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Major, thank you so much. We'll check in again next week.
Thanks.
Our pleasure. Major Garrett joins us each and every week here. 3:58 on WTMJ. The news is next. It's also getting to be dinner time. Might as well check the freezer. Take a little inventory. If you're at work, a little mental inventory. What do you have? What do you need? Well, why not just make it easy on yourself? Pick up a Palermo's. Everyone will be happy if it's Palermo's on the table tonight. Screamin' Sicilian, Connie's, and Urban Pie, maybe the Primo Thin. They all delicious. Have you tried them all? Well, pick up a bunch, stock up the freezer, and put one in the oven tonight. About 20 minutes later at 4:25, your dinner will be served. Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's, made proudly in the state for over 55 years and going strong, found wherever you like to shop. Festival Foods, Pick and Save, Piggly Wiggly, Sendik's, and Woodman's, you name it, they got you covered with Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand
the
station.
The Milwaukee Public Museum receives a $2 million gift from Ross and Mary Reed to its Wisconsin Wonders campaign, which will build a new museum in Milwaukee's historic Haymarket District. First Stage, a United Performing Arts Fund member, appoints Danielle Grambo as its new managing director. A Milwaukee area manufacturer, Process Retail Group, will close its New Berlin plant, resulting in over 60 layoffs. This comes after the business was sold to an Ohio firm. I'm Margaret Notchak with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
This report's sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
Back in the day, my favorite local band was Pigpen Ben and the Triplets. They played all the hits, but they'd sing them in Pig Latin. Man, you should have heard their rendition of Hotel Hey California K. You know, one of the hottest groups working the circuit today isn't a band. It's Mr. Holland and the Triplets, a time-saving trio of plumbing, electric, and HVAC. This tremendous triad of talent performs an extensive repertoire of repairs and replacement to get your home humming. Mr. Holland's gifted group can play a mean pipe wrench, kick it with a conduit bender, and tickle the tin snips. So when your furnace goes flat, your faucet gets funky, and your power no longer goes to 11, summon the soothing sounds of Mr. Holland's Home Services. Don't let your home get out of tune. Call 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If your Ernest Fay, Umming Play, or Our Pay is overplayed, we can help.
We asked people why they sold their homes to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
We looked at a few businesses that purchase homes, and Grandview seemed to be the one that had it together. Not only did we receive a fair offer, but we were able to take as much time as we needed and could leave the house a mess.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Old National Bank.
I just got your home equity loan, and this feeling of joy and exhilaration overcame me.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon we call getting old.
Wow, so I'm not the only one?
No, small business owners feel it with expansion loans. Families feel it when they're setting up trusts and 529s. Nonprofits who need financing to help the community. And anyone who needs investment advice, they all feel it.
So it's not just me?
No, you're in a pretty big club.
Like a club I can join?
I really don't.
Is there at least a secret handshake?
Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Old National. Get old. Member FDIC.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Basketball season is almost here, so get ready to fear the deer.
Lillard gonna fire away. Three-pointer, yeah, baby.
Our Bucks preseason coverage in Oklahoma City against the Thunder starts tonight at 6 with Bucks Shoot Around. We are your home of the Milwaukee Bucks on News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story, police respond to a large fight at a Milwaukee County high school.
I'm Amy Taylor. Legislators discuss American Family Field funding as we speak.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we've got southbound 41 with an accident just south of Silver Spring on the right, so watch out for that. We've also got on 794 southbound, just as you're getting onto the Hone Bridge, the left lane is blocked with a broken down vehicle. Southbound 43 slowing down from Bender Road all the way down past Locust, and then again through the Marquette interchange onto 4394. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 45. Increasing clouds tomorrow, scattered showers late with a high of 64. It's 58 in Milwaukee at 4:03. A developing story, a large police presence currently outside James Madison High School at 81st and Florist. TMJ4 News on the scene, reporting a large fight sparked the police response. Police confirmed there was not a stabbing at the school, despite online reports. Parents, meanwhile, being sent to the entrance on 83rd Street to meet their children. More details as they come available will be shared.
The U.S. Senate is not waiting for House Republicans to elect a speaker. Instead, it's moving forward with its own emergency foreign aid package. But ABC's Andy Fields says the bill won't get to the president with a leaderless House.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer saying both parties in the Senate agree they must send more aid to Ukraine and Israel. He's also warning Israeli leaders they
must minimize civilian casualties among the Palestinians.
The Senate hopes to pass a major Ukraine-Israeli aid package this week without knowing who will be the next House Speaker who might reject it. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
Well, a key vote in Madison today, where the Assembly is currently discussing the latest American Family Field funding proposal. TMJ4's Sydney Uri.
The latest version of the bill actually reduces the amount of money required by local taxpayers, and the Assembly bill that was just updated Thursday cuts Milwaukee County's contributions in half to match what the city of Milwaukee would pay. That amount is $2.5 million a year for the next 27 years.
Governor Evers, Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley, and Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson have all signaled their support for the latest proposal.
The Universities of Wisconsin is ending its in-person instruction at 2 campuses and closing down another campus.
UW President Jay Rothman made the announcement this morning.
We are closing the UW Platteville Richland campus and ending in-person instruction at UW Milwaukee at Washington County and at UW Oshkosh at Fond du Lac County.
In all, Rothman says about 500 students will be affected. He says the decision was made not because of money, but rather because students were trending toward degrees at their 4-year campuses or online. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Well, the preseason continues for the Bucks tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Coverage gets underway following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. Packers sign veteran running back James Robinson, a former 1,000-yard rusher with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:05.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
You've seen the brothers, the owners of Siding Unlimited's video commercial. You can tell that Eric and Aaron Brown are good guys. And I, as their friend and radio spokesman for about 20 years now, can add that they operate a great company. Their dad instilled in them the importance of integrity, truth and trust, reliability, knowledge, and strength. Quality products for sure, but it's their commitment to the installation that sets Siding Unlimited apart from other companies. Dad built a strong siding business. The sons added windows, doors, roofing, and decks. Siding Unlimited hires experienced American craftsmen to do the best installation of those quality products onto your house. Customers and industry suppliers testify to Siding Unlimited's work ethic and quality. Siding Unlimited's awards fill the office wall. Come see them at the unique outside-in showroom in Gerke's Corners. Just remember siding, then sidingunlimited.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days. Heck, a lot of big banks issue pre-approval letters using soft credit pulls instead of real credit reports. Do you really want to compete in today's still low inventory market with a soft credit pull and a pre-approval that's silent on 2 of the 3 critical elements of a mortgage approval? A rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet not only verifies your credit with a real credit report, we also verify your income and down payment, and then issue a letter with a $2,000 guarantee to back it up. And now, AccuNet is issuing property-specific pre-approvals that often come with this sweet phrase: no appraisal required. That's right, AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval at or above the seller's asking price without needing an appraisal. Today's home market is still a metaphorical knife fight. Your bank is offering you, well, a pocket knife. AccuNet is Crocodile Dundee. Now that's a knife, mate. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. You know, I've played sports my entire life, been hurt a lot of times, but
Never had been injured until I had to stop doing the sports I enjoyed because my knee flat wouldn't allow it. I visited Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, where they took great care of me. I put my knee in their doctors' capable hands, and now I'm back in the gym, carrying my golf bag, pain-free for 18 holes, and playing tennis as often as I like with no issues. I'd recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin to anyone. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
For over 6 decades, Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland has made wishes come true for everyone. Now through Wednesday, we're celebrating with great gifts at great prices throughout the store. Like personal care holiday gift sets starting at $9.99, 4-piece Gibson Home cast iron skillet sets half price, and Bluey talking plush or convertible play sets just $17.99. Plus, donate new unwrapped toys to Kids Helping Kids and we'll match gifts up to $250,000. Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland, where wishes come true for everyone.
October is here, and Griffin dealerships have a spectacular deal just for you. We'll change your oil, check your battery and air filter, inspect and rotate your tires, give your car a complete multi-point inspection, all for $129.95. Worried about your AC or heat? We'll check that too, and we'll even replace your wiper blades. Where quality meets the spirit of October. Don't be spooked by car trouble. Let our expert team take care of your vehicles. Visit Griffin for details. Embrace the magic of the Griffin dealerships today.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's Greg Matzek.
Along with Amy Taylor here on a Tuesday afternoon. Beautiful fall day in the Milwaukee area. 61 degrees our high today. Going to be 64 tomorrow. We are hanging on. I'm not running the gas out of the lawnmower just yet. I'm not getting my snowblower fixed for the winter just yet. I am trying to hang on.
I'm still watering plants.
That away.
You know?
Indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
Okay, good. Yes.
Outdoor plants.
Well done, Amy Taylor.
You know the big pots on the front porch and the back? I have a lot of pots, and I always regret it about this time of year. Sick of the pots.
Those mums are thirsty.
She has a lot of pots.
I always feel comforted on the program when we're joined by Alex Stone. I don't know if he has mums. I don't know if they do that in Los Angeles. Hello, Alex.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey, I filled up for $2.99 today, and I paid attention to it. I typically don't if it's in the threes, whatever, but when I see a 2...
I haven't seen a 2 in so long.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? I live in California where it's been $7 a gallon for a long time, and the other day I filled up for $4.99 at Costco, and I thought I had, it was the jackpot that we were that low, and we're still most places $5.50, $6 something a gallon for regular unleaded.
Well, it's hefty, but things are going the right direction, at least for now. But the big concern and wonder is around Israel. Will prices go back up? Will there be greater demand? Will there be less barrels being transported and moved? What do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah, so first of all, a little background on what we're doing right now. So we saw prices go up in September. The OPEC countries, they cut production. Russia did, Iran did, Saudi Arabia did. And that saw the prices, that made them go up. There was a lot of demand in September. You had Labor Day, the end of summer travel. So everything is kind of coming into line now to bring those prices down. People aren't traveling as much in October. You've got refineries that were offline that are now back. The production has been pretty strong going out. So all of these things come together, and you get lower prices. And talked to Patrick DeHaan today, the expert on all this at Gas Buddy, and he says,
I think the national average could hit its lowest levels since March in the next couple of days, maybe in the next week. The national average now at $3.53 a gallon. That is the lowest level in over 6 months.
Oh, and the other big part of this being winter blends. And most states have now gone over to winter blends, which are less expensive than the summer blends. In Texas, they are now on the verge of gas being in the upper $2 range that they're looking at, like $2.50, $2.60. And DeHaan believes, and a lot of the analysts are saying probably another 25-cent drop in many states still to come.
Alex, why is there so much regional variation?
Well, there's a lot of, in California where we pay so much, there's so many environmental rules in there, so many taxes. I think it's for every gallon we pay $2.50 a gallon in taxes on top of whatever it's going to be anyway. California typically doesn't go to winter blends until later. The governor just did an emergency order to make that switch to bring down prices. So, it depends on where you are and what the rules are in there. And there's supply and demand in different areas. And, if you're Hawaii, you're still seeing a lot of demand for people who are going to many of the islands, or in
parts of, Florida and Orlando, you still have a lot of demand there. So kind of what they can get. But the big unknown in all this that you mentioned, Greg, the Israel and Hamas situation, so far that has not had an impact. And the analysts are saying that still they think prices are going to go down at this point. But with the caveat, if Iran gets into the fray in a big way, then all bets are off and prices could shoot up very quickly. So the gas markets, all eyes are on Iran to see what it's going to do. And Dahan saying,
well, that certainly is a risk. Iran is a major oil producer, and so far the violence has been limited to countries that are not significant from an oil production perspective. And Iran entering the fray, depending on the degree of how they enter or if they get pulled into this conflict in one way or another, that is more concerning, and that could abruptly end the decline in gasoline prices.
Yeah, so for now, gas prices look good. If everything stays the way it is right now, they're probably going to go about 25 cents lower in the next couple of weeks, and then they'll go up again around Thanksgiving when people are traveling and Christmas and the New Year, and then probably go down again. But the big unknown being Iran. If they do something, or if Saudi Arabia were to do something or be impacted at all by a terror attack or something like that with what's going on in the Middle East, then we're going to be paying a whole lot more. But right now it looks pretty good.
Yeah, certainly something to follow. Amy and I have gotten together here, Alex, and we agreed. So if you pay us $4 a gallon, we'll just send the gas to you. We think it'll be safe. Load up, fuel up. We'll keep it going throughout the winter season.
There you go, or I'll drive to you guys, go to Costco, fill up, and then drive all the way back.
You'd love it here, and people would love you here.
Oh, there you go. I would love you guys.
Good
Lots
stuff.
of cheese, right?
Yeah, you bet. Darn right. We'll send you some of that as well. Alex Stone, we'll check it again later this week. Thanks, Alex.
Later, guys.
You bet. Take care. 4:14 on WTMJ. Green and Gold Insiders with Steve the Homer True coming up, and you don't want to miss it at 5 o'clock. Bruce Pearl, former head men's basketball coach for the Milwaukee Panthers, has very strong opinions on what is happening right now in Israel. A Jewish man, Pearl, once the head coach for the Milwaukee Panthers, now the head coach at Auburn University. In fact, had a trip with his team to Israel about a year ago. He is going to join us coming up after the 5 o'clock news. It's 4:15 on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Jeff Wagner.
Maybe, just maybe, these judges need to start learning that light sentences are not doing anybody a favor. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And in what I fully consider this to be a crime against mankind, you will find pumpkin spiced beer. Pumpkin and beer, to me, you can have pumpkin pie and wash it down with a beer, but pumpkin spiced beer, I'm sorry, I'm not down with that. Yeah.
Weekdays from noon to 3 on WTMJ.
Hey, the future of joint relief is right here in Milwaukee. Been telling you about it for a little over a year now. It's QC Kinetics, and it's advanced regenerative medicine. Pretty amazing stuff. Hey, if you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion. Learn more about how you can harness your own body's healing agents and attack that joint pain head on. Lasting relief. QC Kinetics does not just mask the pain. The treatments go to the root of the issue using concentrated healing properties placed right in your joint. It'll help restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all that pain in your back, your shoulder, your hip, your knees, you name it. You don't want to suffer anymore. You don't want to handle the drugs. You don't want any more downtime. You don't want surgery. You do want QC Kinetics. Life's all about motion, being in motion this fall, winter, and beyond. QC Kinetics can help. Give them a call, the local medical professionals, for a free consultation at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics. Reach out at 414-285-3474.
Radio guy emeritus Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Enjoy summer while it lasts, folks, because you know what's coming down the pike. Cold weather and high heating bills. It's not too soon to start thinking about new windows and doors from Hometown. They have options that fit every home, every style, and every budget, even yours. Their huge New Berlin showroom has the area's largest display of replacement windows, doors, and patio doors from national brands like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softline, and more. In wood, Fibrix, fiberglass, and vinyl with scads of features including, wonder of wonders, blinds inside the glass. What's more, Hometown offers you dedicated project consultants with products installed by Hometown's own employee carpenters. Stop in today or call 414-329-1200 or go to hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Help fellow commuters. See an accident? Call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line, 414-238-9329. Visit Hall Mazda to support their Drive Out Cancer event.
418 on WTMJ. Our friend Debbie Lazago's got a look at the roads. Hi, Deb.
Hey there. We've got some delays for sure. Southbound 43, just pretty much solid from Silver Spring all the way down to about Locust. And then you're back on the brakes over the high-rise bridge through the Marquette onto 4394. So be prepared for those the extra minutes right now. 24 to be exact, from Brown Deer Road all the way to downtown. We've also got a broken down vehicle on 894 southbound right about at Beloit Road. The right shoulder is blocked, but the delay is stretched all the way back to the Zoo Interchange. So it's kind of enough to make up for a big headache heading through the Zoo Interchange all the way down. We've also got this accident on 41 southbound just south of Silver Spring, off on the right shoulder, backing up to about 175 or Appleton Avenue, depends on what you want to call it. Well, eastbound 94 is going to be a bit backed up coming in from about 84th Street through the Stadium Interchange. Hey, if you happen to see something we should know about, give us a call on the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329. Visit Hall Mazda to support their Drive Out Cancer event. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A very pleasant fall afternoon with highs topping out about 61. Expect highs to reach 64 tomorrow. Chance of rain later in the day, however, under cloudy skies in the morning. It's currently 57 degrees in Milwaukee at 419.
It's time for Green and Gold Insiders on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
He is the host of the Homer Hour, 94.5 ESPN in Milwaukee from 5 to 6 o'clock. He is Steve the Homer True, our Tuesday Green and Gold Insiders guest. Greetings, Homer.
Greetings after a bye week.
After a bye week. And, all right, you took a very holistic approach to assessing the Packers yesterday. You had a lot of show polls, including one that was interesting, and I did not hear the final result. Is Matt LaFleur a good head coach? Well, wasn't that the very basic and simple premise that
Above
you ran
average, with? Average, and below average, and average one going away.
Is that what you believe?
No, I think he's a little bit better than average. If you won as well as he did, 13 wins, 3 straight seasons, yeah, I think he's above average. But the question will always be, how good is he with no Aaron Rodgers? And
to be determined.
To be determined, yes. And then also in terms of every coach is somewhat determined by the general manager and the players he's given. But the biggest one is Rodgers. Yeah, he needs to do something without Rodgers to continue better than average. Not this year, but again, that will be based to some degree on the quarterback given him by Goody. So it's a combination of the two. I've always felt the general manager was way more important than the coach. I feel like I can find a coach that you can win a Super Bowl with if Ron Wolf had been my general manager, or Bill Polian, or
is that because of bringing in talent and hiring the right people?
Yeah, with good players. There are a number of coaches. Some are still better than others, but still, the hardest part is judging talent is really hard. I'll never forget Ron Wolf says, that's why I won a lot of picks, because I'm going to screw up. And everybody was raving about, you picked Donald Driver in the 7th round. He says, yeah, if I knew what I was doing, I'd have picked him long before the 7th round. So even when you just roll the dice, and nobody studied it as hard as he did, or look at all the people he brought in under him that have gone on and had some success. So he was a pretty good judge of talent, picking people, Ted Thompson and the others.
And luck.
Right, or they learned from him. But
5 games into the season, what is it you think the Packers do best?
They're about what we thought. They're just average. There's nothing special. Now maybe Rashawn Gary is special, but yeah, there's nothing special. So every game, flip a coin and hope they do well enough, and watch Jordan Love. How good is he? I would say the season is just about what you'd expected. I will admit this. I'm scared to death. You can't lose to Denver. They're horrible. They're no good. They haven't won at home. I think they're 0-3 at home. But you could lose to them, and it's not as bad if you do. But it would feel terrible. You had this bad game against Las Vegas, so you're frustrated with that, and then you go play someone arguably even worse. They gave up 70 points in a game. They're not as bad as their resume, but they're bad. You just can't lose. Then you're at 2-4. If you win, you're 3-3. 3-3 is fine. Let's go. We'll see what you do the final 11 games. I don't know that other people are. I don't want to do the post game if they lose. What are you thinking? Is it just me? I don't.
Yeah, we were talking about this with Wilde yesterday. So 3-3, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're in it. You're definitely in it in a very muddy sort of NFC,
right?
Which is a little top heavy, but the creamy middle makes up the most of the NFC. All teams that a win or a loss here or there will decide your playoff fate. But it's how you arrive at that record. Sometimes I get caught up in it, and I shouldn't, because I don't think you can grade how sexy a win is. At this point of the season.
It's very sexy. It's the only thing.
You want it to look great, right? You want it to be appealing. But at the end of the day, it just has to get done.
Well, but at 3-3, nobody says this is a good team, really good team.
They're okay.
They're just hanging around. That's
but a lot
all
of teams are just sort of okay.
Yes, just hang around. And then I assume that Jordan Love is due for a good game. He's had some bad ones the last few, and that's what you do when you're a young quarterback. And so it's due for something good. And Aaron Jones is back, and that'll certainly help. You can't lose. You can't lose. I can't.
It's hard to get excited about average, right?
Yeah, but especially around here. But that's everybody. No one can be shocked about it. And they could lose this game and then come back and win another one they were not supposed to win, and everything would be fine. It's
one of those things. That is for sure.
And I'm not negative at all. I'm amazed at how negative some people are. Like They've had a couple bad games, or Jordan Love. He's gonna have a couple more. But what about the other games? And it seems to me like he can play in the league. Then the defense is, he seems unlucky. Like the last game, they played well enough to win, and then the offense didn't come through. So, they're just not that good. They're not going to be that good. So let's just roll it out and see what happens. Other than you got to beat Denver.
All right. So Aaron Rodgers is on the field the other night. He's thrown passes. No crutches are to be seen.
Right.
And what was it? A month and a half ago, he tore his Achilles. And now he's up walking around doing his thing, says he wants to play yet this year. And conspiracy theorists are lined up at the door saying he never tore his Achilles because nobody would be able to do what Aaron Rodgers is doing. He just wants to stick it to the Packers once again so he doesn't play all these snaps to net him a draft pick.
Now, that could be true. My view is he's an incredible search for attention, and even a torn Achilles, you're out for the year. He's somehow drawing attention. I said weeks ago he will be active the final week of the year. I don't know that he'll play, but he'll do anything to draw attention. Do I think his Achilles was torn? Yes. I don't think you can. But the doctors, I'm sure, will tell you shouldn't play. There's no benefit, even if you can do it, for the risk of hurting it again and just rest. But he craves attention, and he's damn good at it. I think what he's hoping for, without a doubt, a breakup between Taylor Swift and the tight end, so that he can invite her to a game.
Yes, this is my thing. So he called Travis Kelce Mr. Pfizer the other day.
Yeah,
this is all jealousy because Aaron is a big-time Swiftie.
Yes.
He's been to her shows. And I don't know, people have people who talk to people about other people. Aaron has that, and maybe it didn't go right with Taylor Swift's people. So she ended up with a tight end who happens to back Pfizer. Aaron, meanwhile, plays for a Johnson & Johnson team and won't take the shot. And here he is. I think he's all hot and bothered that he didn't get Taylor himself.
I'm not in the club, but I like the club, and I accept that that could be a accurate club.
Very interesting.
Because we agree on one thing. He'll do anything to stay in the center of attention.
No doubt.
Yes.
He's good at it.
He's very good at it.
The Homer Hour begins in a half hour on 94.5 ESPN.
They're going to win, right? They're going to beat Denver?
Yeah, there's still a chance.
Give
Jordan Love a chance.
I do. I like him. I don't.
Right.
I have no. It's not.
That's what I'm taking away from what you're saying.
Yeah, he can play. He'll have good ones and bad ones, and I just don't want. has to be a bad one.
No.
You can't lose. Have they even won a game?
Denver is awful.
Yes.
Homer, they give up 70 points, as you noted.
That one, you lose to that team.
That's like 2 losses.
Yes, when you lose to that team, you don't lose to the name of the team. You lose to the team that gave up 70 points.
Yes, that is clear. All right, have a donut. Your show starts in about a half hour. Steve the Homer True every Tuesday on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. 428 on WTMJ. Hey, want to tell you about my favorite place for hounds and humans. It's the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. We've been taking our Greyhound night there for several months, as a matter of fact. When we need a day, because our days are getting a little too crazy, we trust on the Hounds and Tap for doggy daycare. If we're headed out of town for a weekend, well, there you go. The Hounds and Tap also has us covered for boarding and grooming services when Knight's nails get a little too long. Yeah, we don't want to mess with that. The Hounds and Tap happily accepts all dogs. They even have a great tavern. It's indoor, outdoor, so catch a game, catch a beer, watch the game inside or outside with your dog or without. They've got food trucks arriving daily. It's the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls, right off Silver Spring. So easy to find and a wonderful place. Built for dogs, 12,000 square feet, 3 acres of land. Happy dog pictures are available for you to see at the Hounds and Tap's Facebook page. So check them out for yourself and then do what we did. Rely on the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls.
Right now, I'm driving to work, but that's not where I'm going. I'm going to more important things. I'm going to visit Papa. I'm going to go out with friends and to an anniversary dinner. And I look out at the big trucks and buses and people walking and think, we're all going somewhere. And we need to work together to share the road and get there safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Paid for by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. You may be aware that online crime is a huge threat. But did you know this problem could be a great career opportunity for you? Cybersecurity experts are in high demand and well paid. You can position yourself for this specialty in months, not years, at My Computer Career, even with no prior IT experience. Learn how you can train for this rewarding career at mycomputercareer.edu. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Can you help me come up with a good catchphrase?
Catchphrase?
You know, like YOLO.
How about BOGO?
What does it mean?
BOGO means buy one, get one.
Ah.
Now through Monday at Hasselus, buy a mattress and get a box spring free.
Go.
Or take an equal amount off an adjustable base.
YOLO BOGO.
But if you wait too long, this deal is
no mo.
Find a self-service showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It's spooky season, and we have monster deals at Heiser. Is your vehicle becoming a money-eating monster, causing your wallet to be as see-through as a ghost? Sleepless nights causing you to look like a zombie? Oh! Don't scream. Heiser will gladly take control of that scary monster. No tricks, just treats. Heiser will save you money and sleep on any of our new Chevrolets, Cadillacs, Toyotas, Fords, and Lincolns. And that includes our used vehicles, too. Because at Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
Traffic is sponsored by Harwood Place Senior Living. Join Harwood Place Retirement for a moving and downsizing seminar October 26th from 1 to 3 p.m. To RSVP or to schedule a tour, visit harwoodplace.org.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm Jessica Gatso. Your top story, police responding to a large fight at a Milwaukee high school.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 41, slowing down from before Silver Spring all the way down past almost to Burleigh, past Capitol Drive. We do have an accident there just south of Silver Spring being worked on off on the right shoulder. Broken down vehicle at Beloit Road on 894 southbound has things way backed up all the way back through the Zoo interchange. And then along southbound 43, lots of companies from Silver Spring all the way down to about North Avenue. Then you're back on the brakes through the Marquette interchange and over the high-rise bridge. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 45. On Wednesday, increasing clouds and mild with scattered showers later in the day, a high of 64. At 4:32, it's 60 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, updates on the large police presence currently outside James Madison High School at 81st and Florist today. Milwaukee police say they responded to a large fight at the school just before 2 p.m. No injuries were reported. At this time, 4 students were arrested. No weapons were located. The investigation is ongoing, and students have been dismissed for the day. A student also had a medical emergency unrelated to the fight. A key vote in Madison today, where the Assembly has voted in approval of Senate Bill 438 and 439 for the latest American Family Field funding proposal. Governor Evers, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, and Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson have all signaled their support. Tweaks to the bill have lowered the overall contribution the city and county would make to the $646 million package. The bill now heads to the Senate later this month. A 16-year-old girl has been arrested in connection to a threat made against Cudahy High School.
The threat on Instagram included a picture of a rifle and a caption indicating a threat to shoot up the high school, which was removed about 30 minutes after it was posted. A coordinated response between authorities and the Cudahy School District led to the 16-year-old's arrest. Police say the individual had a connection to Cudahy High School, but did not reveal whether or not they were a student. The arrest comes one day after Oak Creek High School was evacuated due to a separate threat of still unknown origin. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Union-represented We Energy's employees have reportedly voted to reject the latest contract offer from the company and are threatening a strike. The workers, represented by IBEW Local 2150, have been without a union contract since August of 16th and have voted overwhelmingly to reject the latest offer from We Energies. 81% of union members voted to reject the contract, and 86% voted in favor of striking. In a statement to WTMJ, We Energy spokesperson Brendan Conway said, quote, "While we are disappointed the contract we negotiated with union leaders was not accepted by their members, we remain open to productive discussions with the union." The preseason continues for the Bucks tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Coverage begins following the 6 o'clock news. The Packers signed veteran running back James Robinson. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 4:35.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
Whether you're looking to replace older damaged windows and doors or just wanting to revamp the look of your home, Pella offers a wide range of styles and materials to match your home's unique design. Hurry! Take advantage of monthly payments as low as $19 per window and $75 per patio door at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get your free quote today at PellaWI.com.
6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers on 10/31/2023.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love my dogs, Bella and Baxter, an important part of our family. They're kind of like kids sometimes, and like kids, they weren't always listening, but I've got it figured out now. Thanks to Matt and his teams at Sit Means Sit Dog Training, our dogs are better behaved. They don't bark as much. They just listen better. They're happy, confident, obedient. Our house is a better house. Sit Means Sit Dog Training turned it around for us. Let them do the same for you. You can start with a free consultation. The website is sitmeansitwaukesha.com. Sitmeansitwaukesha.com.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Benjamin Moore, what an awesome paint. Hi, this is Matt Elliott from Elliott's Ace Hardware. Benjamin Moore paint offers excellent coverage and a great finish. It's durable and long-lasting. It's easy to apply and clean up. It's available in a wide range of colors. What more could you ask for? Well, how about $5 off a gallon? That's right, $5 off a gallon on Benjamin Moore during October. Stop in today and let us help you transform a room. Elliott's Ace in Elm Grove, West Dallas, Pewaukee, and Muskego.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
So you heard Jessica mention it in the news, and it is breaking news. On bipartisan vote, State Assembly passes a revised bill that would spend $546 million in public funds to upgrade American Family Field and keep the Brewers in Milwaukee until 2050. It's not the only step in the process, however. The bill will now head to the Senate for consideration. Additional changes are likely, and who knows what that could bring. But it is a step in the right direction for those who are pro having the work done to keep the Brewers in the stadium in Milwaukee until 2050. Now, there's a variety of polls out which would indicate how the general public is leaning, and it is, you can get lost in all this stuff because in the last day alone, you've seen polls suggesting that 2/3 of voters want bipartisan solution to fund the Brewers stadium. New poll shows that the Brewers support for the funding of the ballpark is waning. Majority of Wisconsin voters want the Brewers ballpark. They want a solution. There's all sorts of different entities reporting on what is real and what is not is very challenging to sift through. And you have to really get into the details of what the polls suggest, who is being polled, the questions being asked, how many people are being polled. It's a rabbit hole that if you start going down, you'll drive yourself nuts.
Well, you're pointing in particular to two conflicting polls, right? Because there's the MMAC poll, right? The Visit Milwaukee group that said there's like 2/3 of the people that want to support the stadium funding. And then we had the release of another poll that says almost the exact opposite.
Right. So the other poll is from Milwaukee Works, Inc., and written by Dan Adams. And we reached out to Dan to join us in the program because I wanted him to explain the line of questioning and walk through the results. But the results of the Milwaukee Works poll, and they use public policy polling to survey a sample of Wisconsin voters about the plan to subsidize improvements at American Family Field. Now, keep in mind, there are over 3 million active and registered voters in the state of Wisconsin. So this poll samples 1,347 Wisconsin voters. So that is smaller than 0.25%, right?
Tiny.
I understand that in the world of polling,
right,
that number, 1,347, represents an appropriate number to sample.
Sure.
But you cannot, for the life of me, tell me that that is an accurate representation of all 3 million active and registered voters. And had the polling been for public subsidization of the ballpark repairs, I would say the exact same thing. We have over 3 million, and you're going to tell me that a fraction of a percent is going to provide accurate data? I just don't buy it. I just don't.
It doesn't make a lot of sense that only 29% of voters support using tax money for the stadium subsidy.
That's according to the Milwaukee Works poll.
Right,
71% are against it, 29 are for it, according to their polling.
But then if you look at the news release, he also goes on to say, this Dan Adams, the director of Milwaukee Works, that Mark Antonazio is better placed to pay for the stadium improvements than Wisconsin taxpayers. So, I mean, this is obviously injected with some fuel against the rich owner.
What I have in my hand is meant to look like a press release, okay?
Right.
It is clearly not a press release. It is the results of this poll with a slanted opinion. Right? Like Dan Adams clearly
it's just a
being
really
paid by others who don't want this bill to go through, right? They don't want public subsidization. So
But what do you? How does it make any sense, really, not to keep the Brewers here? And how else are you going to do it?
You know,
you're going to have Mark Antanasio pay for the entire thing himself. Is that realistic?
I think the end objective is the same. Let's keep the Brewers in Milwaukee. I think the debate and the back and forth debate, and I don't mind the opinion here, but it's dressed up like a press release with a very, very one-sided view. So this is more of an opinion piece than it is a press release.
Right. And I actually do mind the opinion because I do think that this is so important for our economy, so important for tourism, so important for our civic pride, everything that makes us in any way able to play as somewhat of a major market.
I want to be clear. I don't share the opinion.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
Dan is entitled to his opinion.
Absolutely.
All good. We can debate, go back and forth. Right. I have a differing view. I do support it.
Yes.
But I just believe that it's slanted. Now, to their credit, to Milwaukee Works' credit, they released the questions that went into their survey that led to these results. I don't know the MMAC's line of questioning, something we can ask Tim Sheehy tomorrow when he's on the program.
Yes, I think he's an important person to ask because he obviously is supporting the Major League Baseball staying here with the Brewers in a multi-dimensional stadium, staying in the city of Milwaukee. But what did Dan Adams of Milwaukee Works say to you when you called him? Did you hear back from him?
We reached out, and he sent an email, and he was polite, saying that he wasn't able to join, and that's okay. He suggested we reach out to somebody else, and I prefer the source. I prefer the author of the piece that I have in my hand.
I mean, it's a pretty fueled press release.
Polling it'll drive you nuts,
man.
He's saying it'll really drive you nuts.
10 to 1 that people want to not have public funding for the stadium.
I think it is more 55-45. I think it's closer to 50-50 than it is 70-30.
Listen, I understand there's constituents that just absolutely cannot afford it, and there's going to be protection for those people on the part of the politicians. But it's sort of an interesting subject.
So, I guess, do what you want with the information you consume. But dig in a little bit. I challenge you to dig into the line of questioning, what's really being discussed, what's really being asked in these polls. And I just don't like the whole polling system to begin with, because to me, 1,347 out of 3 million.
Well, he calls it a Brewers bailout.
Yes, in a press release.
Yeah.
It's a slanted press release. It is not a press release. It's an opinion piece with results of their survey.
Did you see there was a piece somewhere talking about how the funding for stadiums ended up not actually, paying off for taxpayers over the long haul all across the country? And I found that to be kind of astounding. But what's kind of your choice? I mean,
there's a cost to keeping a team, right? There just is,
right?
And I don't love that either, but there is. There absolutely is. And if you don't want to pony up, fine. I don't think the Brewers will ever leave. I really don't. But I know places. I mean, Nashville, Charlotte would love to have a franchise, and they'll do anything they can to get their hands on it.
And they're going to be all over it, right?
That happens.
And that just makes us
happens.
It makes us seem small. And if we want to play small, we can. And maybe we are.
Now, I also do support the idea of reimagining the parking lot space at American Family Field. So much could be done. I support that being built up into something other than concrete space.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
It'd be kind of cool.
Well, and I'm a sucker for a good rendering. So put a drawing on paper, and I'm probably going to like it. 446 on WTMJ. Dr. Ben Weston from the Medical College of Wisconsin joins us after this.
Wisconsin's Morning News.
Things you don't want to hear from your mechanic, your doctor, or the head coach from your football team.
Listen to Vince Vetrano every weekday starting at 6 a.m.
Obviously searching for a little bit of answers right now.
I think. I want to hear that.
Start the day with what you need to know.
Things like looking for answers, and I thought we did that last week, but I guess we'll try again this week. I thought we already fixed that in the car.
Only here on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
Hey, I want to tell you about something that is certainly a thing, and it used to be a thing in our home, and thankfully now it's not. Talking about radon here, the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. We realized that the radon levels in our home were too high for our comfort level. That's where Lifetime Radon Solutions came to the rescue. Not only did they conduct a test that revealed our radon levels, but they also suggested and installed a mitigation system That looks great. In fact, it took them just a couple of hours to do. And just like that, the blink of an eye, we've got comfort in our home and peace of mind. Lifetime Radon Solutions, the best in the business. They have near statewide coverage. They've got 5-star reviews, and they've done pretty much everybody in our subdivision, as a matter of fact. It's worth it to you to have a test done at your house. Call my friends at Lifetime Radon today. A free home test, no strings attached. And if you want to do a little digging, do a little more research on your own, go for it at lifetimeradon.com.
When traveling at 20 miles per hour, the average stopping distance is about 40 feet.
That stopping power is calculated in both thinking and braking distance.
And assuming you've got the thinking and braking part down, the only thing left is good tires.
Just Google Richlands to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 convenient locations.
And rest assured, we'll put you in the right tire no matter what sort of vehicle you drive.
Plus, every tire purchase that we install automatically comes with our free flat tire protection plan.
5 conveniently located facilities, all AAA approved,
and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to install your tires.
So Google Richlands
or go to richlands.com.
And remember to be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you have good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, your
due for tire service.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Smart investors make their savviest moves at year-end. Let us show you how to be one of them. Go to creativeplanning.com/radio and request your free end-of-year plan, an essential blueprint for maximizing wealth, minimizing taxes, and setting the stage for a prosperous year ahead. Making the right moves before the end of 2023 could put some serious money back in your pocket. This offer is only available till Monday at midnight. Go to creativeplanning.com/radio to request your free plan today.
Traffic is sponsored by Weniger Compressor, ready to service any facility at pressureisoff.biz.
Weniger Compressor salutes business owners who put the I can in American while treating their customers right.
Call up the boys at Weniger Compressor.
449 on WTMJ, Debbie Lazaga with a look at the roads.
All right. Well, we had that earlier problem, 894 southbound at Beloit Road. That disabled vehicle that was blocking the right lane for just a little bit, finally gone. They've been able to clear that out. From the zoo to the Hale interchange, though, it is still a pretty hefty ride. It's about 14 minutes, doubling up your normal 7. On westbound 94, slow right through the Marquette interchange all the way through to almost Hawley Road where it starts to open up. Eastbound side starting to slow down at 92nd Street all the way through to about 35th. And southbound 43, lots of company there from Silver Spring all the way down past North Avenue, pretty much all the way down through the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Beautiful day, chilly tonight. Low of 40 inland. Tomorrow, high of 64. Chance of rain later in the day. Partly cloudy skies as you wake up tomorrow morning. It's 54 degrees in Milwaukee at 450. Dr. Ben Weston joins us from the Medical College of Wisconsin. Dr. Raymond is out today. Dr. Ben Weston joining us here on the Tri-County Hotline. Hello, Dr. Weston.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, thank you. A lot of stuff to get to today. I did want to start with this. We brought this up in a recent segment. So Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles, and all of a sudden he is on the field throwing passes without crutches, not moving around a lot. Has the treatment of the Achilles tendon rupture evolved? Is this a modern miracle that Aaron was able to be on his feet without crutches, throwing footballs just a month or so after a devastating injury?
He looks pretty good, doesn't he? So he had a complete Achilles tendon tear. This is a pretty major injury, and it usually takes months for recovery. Now, there are 2 different approaches to treatment. A lot of people will do a conservative approach. You just let the tendon heal up on its own. You don't do surgery. But for people who are really active or younger, or certainly an athlete like Aaron Rodgers, they'll go for the surgical approach. It speeds things up, and it allows for greater strength in that tendon. But still, we're usually talking about 9 to 12 months of recovery. So he seems optimistic, but we got to remember, he's an athlete. I'm sure he has some of the best doctors and trainers working with him to expedite his recovery, so I wouldn't count him out quite yet.
Unbelievable. Also, one of the hottest topics today is the use of these weight loss drugs. I mean, everybody's saying Ozempic face. Oh, how did they do it? Ozempic or Wegovy. And now a new study showing patients losing up to 60 pounds or a quarter of their body weight using this Mounjaro. Can you talk about that? Is this really powerful evidence for the treatment of obesity?
Oh, yeah, this is the new kid on the block now. So it's this diabetes drug, Mounjaro. The generic name is a mouthful, but it's tirzepatide. And this helps people with obesity or who are overweight lose at least a quarter of their body weight. Now, importantly, that's when combined with diet and exercise. You can't get away with not doing that diet and exercise. But nonetheless, in this study, the average person lost 60 pounds, which is not a small amount of weight. And that is more weight loss than Ozempic, the other one that we've heard a lot about. So certainly for folks who struggled with weight loss, despite consistent diet and exercise, that is key. It's something to talk to your doctor about.
Going to localize my next question for you, Doctor. I was going through some ideas last night. I asked my wife, anything you'd like me to ask Dr. Weston? And she said, can you ask why I can't sleep? So my wife she tries everything. She tries sleepy time tea. She tries yoga before bed. She tries reading a book. She tries not reading a book. She's tried melatonin. She's tried a little bit of everything, and nothing seems to work. She has a very active mind and has trouble getting through with a full night of sleep. How can we combat this? I'm sure many listening have a similar issue.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with sleep issues. A third of Americans say they get less sleep than recommended. Now, there's lots of different reasons for that, but sleep hygiene is critical. It sounds like she's doing a lot of the right stuff. But sleep hygiene is important. So that's what you do before you go to bed. So you have to be consistent. Ideally, it's kind of like when you have little kids, and I could talk all about that. But when you have little kids, you need that sleep routine, that consistency. We do this, then we do this, then we go to bed. And so having a dark room, not using electronics right before going to bed, especially that blue light that a lot of electronics give off, can keep you awake. Avoiding caffeine. Some people, when you have meals right before bed, it doesn't help. Certainly avoiding alcohol. But that routine is important. Exercise during the day is another thing that can help tire you out when it comes to bedtime. Mindfulness, meditation, for people whose minds are just racing, a lot of times that will help as well. But sometimes all that doesn't work. And so, again, talking to your healthcare provider, thinking about a sleeping aid. Some people in extreme situations even can do behavioral therapy to help with sleep issues. But a lot of the time, just that sleep hygiene, changing a few things about your routine can make a huge difference.
Okay, so I'm going to put the phone away and stop with a glass of wine. Also, we're talking about video chatting. This is apparently making some big business for plastic surgeons. What's going on with people and being on the screen?
Yeah, so even before the pandemic, with social media and all these filters that people put on their faces, everybody looks beautiful on social media. We saw an increase in cosmetic surgeries due to people being dissatisfied with their appearance. But that's gone way up during the pandemic. And a lot of that is because of what you see on these video conferencing platforms. In fact, 86% of cosmetic surgeries out there said that video conferencing is the most common reason that people are having cosmetic concerns. And a lot of us can relate to it. If we're on these, Zooms and Teams and whatever else all day long, you're sitting staring at yourself. And that can get exhausting, and it can cause people to have these fixations on minor flaws. And so what do we do about it? Well, certainly reducing screen time will help with this, as well as many other things. A lot of times in Zoom and in others, there's a button to click to hide your self-view, so you can look at others. You don't have to stare at yourself. But for some people, this is a major issue, and it causes a lot of mental health challenges. And so more intensive resources, mental health resources, medical resources may be necessary. But for many folks out there, these simple changes can make a big difference, especially if you're just going call to call to call throughout the whole day.
Dr. Ben Weston joining us here from the Medical College of Wisconsin. Pinch hitting today for Dr. John Raymond. Dr. Weston, thanks so much. Appreciate your expertise. We'll check in again soon.
All right. Take care.
4:56 on WTMJ. We'll get a look at your business headlines coming up in just a minute. But first, this from my friends at Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more. You've heard me talking about them for years, almost a decade now. That's right, because Siding Unlimited is the best. They have done a variety of projects for us over the years, including siding, doors, windows, roofing, you name it. Even a patio project. Siding Unlimited does it all to help beautify your home's exterior. Here's the difference with Siding Unlimited. They have the best installation teams you will find. A lot of places have great products, but it's the installation that separates Siding Unlimited from the rest. In fact, they've got awards that speak to it, including 3 awards from Pella as their Platinum Elite National Certified Contractor of the Year. Nobody knows the Pella product quite like Siding Unlimited. Find them in Brookfield, a family-owned business run by brothers Eric and Aaron Brown. They took the company over from their father, who retired after starting this siding-only business back in the day. Well, now it's Siding Unlimited. Find them online at sidingunlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
The Milwaukee Public Museum receives a $2 million gift from Ross and Mary Reed to its Wisconsin Wonders campaign, which will build a new museum in Milwaukee's historic Haymarket District. First Stage, a United Performing Arts Fund member, appoints Danielle Grambo as its new managing director. A Milwaukee area manufacturer, Process Retail Group, will close its New Berlin plant, resulting in over 60 layoffs. This comes after the business was sold to an Ohio firm. I'm Margaret Notchak with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Business headline sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make reservations today and visit thepfisterhotel.com.
The Pfister Hotel is proud to announce a series of renovations now underway that will elevate its guest experience with added elegance, approachable sophistication, and modern amenities that will blend effortlessly with the Pfister's iconic charm. With fully renovated ballrooms and meeting spaces, all new guest rooms in the historic tower, and exciting enhancements to the lobby and other common areas, all phases of this plan are expected to be completed by spring 2024. Milwaukee may have plenty of wonderful hotels, but make no mistake, there is only one Pfister Hotel.
Haul away big savings this weekend at Fleet Farm's Truckload Savings Event. Like 40-pound bags of superior hardwood fuel pellets, 2 for $11. Morton Clean and Protect water softener pellets are only $5.89 a bag. Save on 40 pounds of black oil sunflower seed, just $18.99. And get a free $15 Fleet Farm gift card with select Science Diet pet food. Stock up on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
At Annex Wealth Management, we believe every portfolio tells a story. After all, we've analyzed thousands. Some reflect diligence and fortitude, others a mishmash of overlapping investments. When Annex reviews your portfolio, we spot what works, what might not, and then provide unbiased suggestions free from sales commissions. Every portfolio tells a story. Let's work on yours. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. As a fee-only fiduciary, that's our story. Head to annexwealth.com.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic sponsored by Sendix Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926.
2-pound bags of large, extra large, and colossal shrimp are all on sale for $14.99 this week at Sendix. Huge shrimp at huge savings. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
The place to get caught up, to speak out, to connect and be entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. It's Wisconsin's afternoon news for Tuesday, October 17th. Your top story, funding for American Family Field approved.
I'm Amy Taylor. No injuries after a large fight at a Milwaukee area high school.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. In westbound 94, we're seeing some pretty hefty delays right now. Downtown to the zoo, 15 minutes, an extra 8 delays right through the Marquette all the way through the stadium. The eastbound side's going to be slow out of the zoo through the stadium interchange as well. And southbound 43, Brown Deer Road to the Marquette will take you 26 minutes. That's an extra 15 with brake lights kicking on right about at Silver Spring, stretching all the way down through the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Partly cloudy skies tonight, a low of 45, 40 if you're a little further away from the lake. Tomorrow, a high of 64. Increasing clouds throughout the day, mild temperatures, however. Scattered showers late. It is 54 degrees in Milwaukee at 5:02. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, after over an hour of discussion, the Wisconsin Assembly this afternoon approves a $545 million plan in public dollars for Brewers Stadium repairs. Representative from the 20th District, Christine Sinicki.
This is the way legislation should be done. It was a negotiation. It was done in a bipartisan fashion.
Both Assembly Bill 438 and 439 passed 69-27. The bills now head to the Wisconsin Senate.
A developing story, a large police presence was outside James Madison High School at 81st and Flores today. TMJ4 News is on the scene reporting a large fight that had sparked the police presence. Police confirmed there was not a stabbing at the school despite online reports. Parents were sent to the entrance at 83rd Street to meet their children. We'll get you more details as they become available.
Reports of an apparent hospital bombing in Gaza today. Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh tells ABC News she was aware of the reports but shared no further information. Singh pointed out that Hamas has a history of deliberately setting up command centers in civilian areas, including hospitals, but she doesn't know whether the Al-Aya Hospital specifically was used by Hamas. Singh also says democracies like Israel and the United States should follow the law of war in protecting innocent civilians.
The new year will bring a new president in Milwaukee. Dale Quinga will become president of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce on January 2nd of 2024. He has served as senior vice president of the organization since January of this year. Quinga's experiences are diverse. He has worked as a certified public accountant, an elected official, most recently as Wisconsin State Senator, and currently serves as a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Reserve. Quinga will replace Tim Sheehy, who will be retiring from MMAC after a 31-year career as its 11th president.
Well, the universities of Wisconsin ending in-person instruction at 2 campuses and closing down another.
UW President Jay Rothman made the announcement this morning.
We are closing the UW-Platteville Richland campus and ending in-person instruction at UW-Milwaukee at Washington County and at UW-Oshkosh at Fond du Lac County.
In all, Rothman says about 500 students will be affected. He says the decision was made not because of money, but rather because students were trending toward degrees at their 4-year campuses or online. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
A group of Wisconsin Republican lawmakers has rejected the appointment of Joseph Zarnecki to the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Zarnecki was rejected after he joined Democratic commissioners in abstaining from a vote to reappoint Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf. Governor Tony Evers appointed Zarnecki to the spot in May after retired Sheboygan County Clerk Julie Glancy stepped down 3 years before the end of her term.
Well, the preseason continues for the Bucs tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Coverage gets underway following the 6 o'clock news, and the Packers signed veteran running back James Robinson, a former 1,000-yard rusher with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Starting Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 5:05.
It's time for Extra Points, a sports commentary on Wisconsin's afternoon news. Here's Greg Matzik.
Baseball's playoffs continue in the National League with the Arizona Diamondbacks trailing the Philadelphia Phillies 1-0 in the best-of-7 NLCS. Would it be different for you if the teams participating in the NLCS were the Braves and Dodgers? Most likely it would be different if the Brewers were playing. And that's really what the postseason is all about, energizing home fan bases. Sure, Major League Baseball would love the masses, coast to coast, all parts of this country to be locked in. And the bigger the market, The bigger likelihood and greater likelihood you've got more familiar names to cheer for or against. I guess the Braves and Dodgers could have brought that to the table. But sign me up for the underdog story. I like seeing wild card teams involved. I would have loved to seen the Brewers as well, but don't get me wrong, this should still be a highly entertaining series between Arizona and Philadelphia. Last year, the Phillies defied logic. They breezed through the playoffs and represented the National League in the World Series. The Diamondbacks did the unthinkable, getting through the Brewers and Dodgers without losing a single game. I support Major League Baseball's format because it includes more teams. Once you get in, it's up to you. They call it the second season for the reason. Far better is today's format than the one that included a Brewers team that won 92 games but was on the outside of the postseason looking in. Extra Points is sponsored by All Right Home and Remodeling. When you want it done right, call All Right.
I'm Randy from All Right Home and Remodeling. Did you know that ROI on exterior home improvements are some of the highest? Some sources say new vinyl siding nets 76% ROI and stone veneer is over 100%. Chances are you've seen your property value increase pretty significantly in the past few years. Want to increase it even more and improve curb appeal? Beautify your home's exterior. There's some great tax breaks to take advantage of too. Call us today to set up a free consultation or visit ALLRITE remodeling.com.
Do the changing seasons have you dreaming of that perfect sun-kissed getaway? From the Caribbean and Mexico to Hawaii or Florida, Fox World Travel's expert travel advisors can recommend their favorite beach resorts with Delta Vacations or island-hopping cruises with Holland America and Celebrity Cruises. What are you waiting for? Don't miss out on the best savings of the season. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. There are memories to be made, and Fox has the expertise to get you there.
This October, visit Griffin Dealerships for a spectacular deal. We'll change your oil, rotate your tires, give your car a complete multi-point inspection, AC or heat check, and new wiper blades, all for just $129.95. Embrace the magic of Griffin Dealerships, where quality meets the spirit of October.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family.
Is your home drafty and cold in the winter? Retro Foam of Southeastern Wisconsin will fill your walls, lower your heating and cooling bills, and give you an airtight seal with their foam insulation. It's all done from the exterior of your home without any hassle or mess. Retro Foam offers a lifetime no-cost warranty with a property protection guarantee. They take pride in their customer service, treating all customers like family. Get 0% financing for 5 years if you call and mention WTMJ. Call today at 262-234-FOAM. That's 262-234-FOAM.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft grace zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers on 10/31/2023.
The Emmy Award-winning Beatles tribute, the Fab Four, returns to Milwaukee. See them play the hit album Rubber Soul in its entirety alongside all your favorite hits. Saturday, October 28th at the Pabst Theater. The Fab Four. Tickets on sale now at PabstTheaterGroup.com.
Everyone's journey after a serious crash is different, but no matter the circumstances, the one thing you'll need is help. Our team at Gruber Law Offices is here for you 24/7. Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's Greg Matzek.
Chaos continues in Israel. President Biden will visit the country on Wednesday as he seeks to demonstrate support for the country. At least 3,000 people have been killed in the Gaza Strip since last Saturday. Unprecedented attacks October 7th, and chaos ensues. I wanted to bring in the perspective of someone who has been to Jerusalem recently. About a year ago, the Auburn men's basketball team went to Jerusalem to play a series of exhibition games, and the head coach of the Auburn Tigers is former Milwaukee Panthers head basketball coach Bruce Pearl. Bruce, thank you for spending some time with us today.
Greg, it's great to be with you and to be visiting with the folks in Wisconsin. And I wish we were talking about basketball right now, but unfortunately, a genocide took place on October 7th. 30 Americans murdered, 20 more plus held hostage, and obviously the death and destruction that is taking place right now as Israel is looking for some truth and some justice for all these atrocities and trying to figure out how to live next door. That people, to some people, some neighbors that have said they're for their destruction and say that they're sworn enemies and have actually, acted upon it in such a way that we've not seen anything like this since the Holocaust.
So over 70 years of fighting, Bruce, can you boil it down? What is at stake here? Is it land? Is it humanity?
Well, I think that the Westerners like us, trying to understand the Palestinian cause, we would love that cause to be a state of their own, more control over their own existence there in Israel. Their cause would be to better the lives of the Palestinian people. Their cause would be to live as neighbors with the Jewish state. And if in 1948 that was their cause, the country that could be known as Palestine would be living next door to Israel and celebrating 75 years of peace and existence. But unfortunately, their actions and their words and the history tells us that is not the Palestinian cause. The Palestinian cause is to have leaders like Hamas or even the Palestinian Authority, Islamic Jihad, to be against the creation of the State of Israel and to be against its existence of the State of Israel and to really be so anti-Semitic they want to kill the Jews. And unfortunately, that's been what the Palestinian cause has been on the ground. And we saw the realities of that. So, no, it's not just about the land. It's about a decision that's been made to not live in peace with the Jewish state.
Over 70 years of fighting, Bruce, have you ever seen anything like what you saw on October 7th?
No, I've never seen anything like this, Greg, and we haven't seen anything like this since the Holocaust. And but look, the Nazi Party was a political party before they became a war machine. Hamas was a duly elected government, in 2007, although they militarily took over from the Palestinian Authority in Gaza and turned it into what it is today. And so, no, we've never ever seen, anything like this. What they're obviously capable of. And the saddest thing, Greg, is when I talk to friends and family and different leaders in Israel, they're so grateful to President Biden right now for coming over there. They're so grateful for President Biden setting the carrier group over there to stand with Israel and unequivocally calling out Hamas and standing with Israel. And so many people want to sort of ride the fence because, look, there's death and destruction on both sides. There's two sides to every story, but our government has stood by Israel, and yet somehow it's hard for people at universities or things like that to take a stand in good versus evil, truth and justice. And so it's the one thing that would lift up the spirits. And I heard President Herzog say this, is when Americans say, I stand with Israel. And what breaks Israel's heart and the people there's heart, not only going through what they went through, but then to see days later, after Israelis and Jews were murdered, Americans protesting and calling for from the river to the sea and saying they're standing with Hamas. I mean, what more do they need to see? And yet they're still spewing that hate, and it's so misinformed. And so I just encourage people to find out the truth It's the policy of our government to stand with Israel against Hamas, and not afraid to say so. And by the way, these opinions, you're speaking to me, Greg, these are my opinions. They don't reflect necessarily my university. I'm speaking to you as Bruce Pearl that used to coach University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, not just Bruce Pearl as the men's basketball coach at Auburn, even though that's where I am. These are my thoughts and opinions, and thank you for letting me share them with you today.
To that end, Bruce, you took your Auburn Tigers men's basketball team overseas to Jerusalem about a year ago. If you can hang on for a few minutes, I want to ask you about that trip, why you chose to go to Jerusalem, and if you got out of it what you had hoped. More with Bruce Pearl coming up on the other side. It's Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. Creative Planning is a wealth management firm that believes in a total approach to building wealth that includes taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other personalized elements. This approach allows you to receive advice that is aligned with your unique goals and always in your best interests. Why not give your wealth a second look? Visit creativeplanning.com.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love my dogs, Bella and Baxter, an important part of our family. They're kind of like kids sometimes, and like kids, they weren't always listening. But I've got it figured out now. Thanks to Matt and his teams at Sit Means Sit Dog Training, our dogs are better behaved. They don't bark as much. They just listen better. They're happy, confident, obedient. Our house is a better house. Sit Means Sit Dog Training turned it around for us. Let them do the same for you. You can start with a free consultation. The website is sitmeanssitwaukesha.com. Sitmeanssitwaukesha.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 40-ounce selected varieties Crisco oil, $4.99. 15 to 24-ounce selected varieties Bertolli pasta sauce, 2 for $6. 4 to 7-ounce selected varieties Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches, 2 for $5. 32-ounce bottles selected varieties Dunkin' or International Delight Creamer, 2 for $7.
Let's see, spices, cardamom, hibiscus powder. It's like looking at Green Bay's roster right now. I don't recognize it, but I'll learn to love it.
Attention Century shoppers. You're going to love this opportunity. Win 2 tickets to see Green Bay play Kansas City on December 3rd, autographed Packers footballs, or 4 packs of Hall of Fame tickets.
I'd love to see Green Bay's new QB in action and win those tickets. What do I do?
Find the weekly code on Century's Facebook or Instagram and enter to win.
Love it. Getting the Century code on Insta right now.
Ends November 14th.
Time is running out to make money moves that can only be done in 2023. Have you taken every step to maximize savings and minimize taxes this year? If there's even a hint of uncertainty, we've got your back. Go to creativeplanning.com/radio and request your free essential end-of-year plan. You'll talk with one of our certified wealth managers who will help you discover what you might be missing. This offer is only available till Monday at midnight. creativeplanning.com/radio.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
Let's grab a check of the roads here. 5:19. Let's call it 5:20 on WTMJ. We'll check in with Debbie.
Okay, well, Greg, we've got an accident now. This is kind of off the freeway. It's on Loomis, southbound, right at 894. The right lane is blocked on southbound Loomis, so keep that in mind. On the freeway itself, we are seeing delays out of the Mitchell interchange past Loomis. Southbound 894 backing up from just before Beloit Road down and around the Hale interchange past Forest Home. Westbound 94 backing up out of the Marquette out past Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side also slow from 84th Street through the Stadium interchange. Southbound 43, you're looking at delays from Silver Spring all the way down to about Locust, back on the brakes from Fond du Lac Avenue, down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Right now, Brown Deer Road to downtown is a 24-minute ride. And you can help out your fellow commuters. Remember, you can report accidents and slowdowns to the Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329 and visit Hall Mazda to support their Drive Out Cancer event. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Got Going to be cool and comfortable tonight. Seasonal temperatures, I'd say, down to 40 or so inland, 45 if you're a little further away from the lake. Clouds are going to start rolling in, however. They'll be around tomorrow with a high of 64. Chance of rain later in the day to evening hours. It is 54 degrees in Milwaukee at 5:21. Continuing our conversation with Auburn Tigers head men's basketball coach Bruce Pearl, formerly the head coach at UW Milwaukee. Bruce, it's become common over the last decade or so for college basketball teams to go overseas to play exhibition games, to Italy, to Germany, to Spain, and so on. You chose to take your Auburn Tigers men's basketball team to Jerusalem. What did you hope to get out of that event? Why did you choose Jerusalem, and did you get out of that trip what you had hoped?
Boy, Greg, that's such a great question. Greg, growing up Jewish, I didn't study a great deal about what a great rabbi Jesus was. That's not what we studied. And I think when my friends went to class or Catholicism classes or went to church, they didn't study a great deal about what a great Jew Jesus was. And as you read the Bible, you come to understand different things, like Jesus celebrated the same festivals and holidays as a Jew I celebrated. He was a rabbi. To me, that brings people together. In sports, we bring people together, regardless of their faith, regardless of the color. Can you guard somebody when you pass me the ball? I mean, in other words, we don't see that sort of stuff that other folks see. And so I wanted to go to Israel because I wanted my team to first of all, have the opportunity to get baptized if they want to in the Jordan River where John baptized Jesus. I also wanted them to see the Holocaust Museum so they could see the atrocities. But as much as anything, I wanted them to see people of color. I wanted to see the diversity. I wanted to see the democracy. I wanted them to get to know the people and make up their own minds about what kind of a place it is. I know it to be an amazing place, a beautiful place. The land of milk and honey that God promised the Jewish people, and they've turned that into it. My kids saw it, and they felt much, much differently about the way they view Israel. My goodness gracious, it's the birthplace of all religions of Abraham, and you can see some of the most incredible Islamic, Christian, and Jewish holy sites right there in Jerusalem. To me, I wish that would bring us together. It could bring a team together. Instead, it's divided the nations, and that breaks my heart.
I don't know if you have the answer to this question, Bruce, but what is step one to repairing relations, or is it irreparable?
Oh, I believe it's repairable. I believe the Abraham Accords and peace through prosperity has been demonstrated. One of the things I think many of your listeners would not have any idea about would be the fact that there are 9 million people in Israel, 6 million Jews, and 3 million Arabs. About 2 million Arabs are living a great life in Israel because they've chosen not to worry about whether it's a Jewish state. They're citizens of the state of Israel that happens to be a Jewish state. Half the medical folks in Israel, doctors, nurses, caregivers, are Arab, not Jewish. Okay? Politicians, people in the courts, business people. That there have been Arabs that have made the choice to live in peace and live in Israel. But there are a portion of Arabs and some of their Palestinians that have fallen under the wrong leadership and been taught and been trained to hate Israel. And as a result, they've made choices to not have peace, to not value life. And what is for? There must be a change in leadership. In other words, when we were in war in World War II, it wasn't necessarily the German people that we hated. We hated the Nazis. We hated Hitler. They were a political party before they were anything else. That's what Hamas was. Hamas must be destroyed. Hamas must be destroyed in order through peace and justice to take place. Once that happens, potentially, and a vacuum is created, let's try to put in the proper leadership. Try to support the people. Try to help them recover from the atrocities that are taking place right now and are going to take place in the future. And through prosperity, and through normalizing of relations, and through better leadership, our world right now has maybe been at an all-time low for world leadership right now. I'm very proud of what President Biden is doing right now and how he's responded to this crisis. I just hope that support, that unequivocal support, continues.
Bruce, you mentioned Hamas must be destroyed. Should they be looked at and viewed in the same breath and category as Al-Qaeda, ISIS, some other just horrific terrorist organizations in our world?
No question, without question. There is no question. They're a terrorist organization. They've been calling for Israel's annihilation and destruction. Look, Greg, I've been to Israel a half a dozen times. I've been, very, very involved. I've been 5 years in a row now. I've gone there. My first trip was in 2009 when I coached the USA team and the Maccabiah team. If you listen to the Hamas charter, if you listen to the charter of Iran and what they say they want, you have to take them at their word. They want for the death and destruction of the state of Israel, and they're enemies of the United States. This terror that took place there, if it just so happens to be on the border there, if they could do it here, they would. And so, yes, they are an enemy of our country, and they are an enemy of the state of Israel, and they're to be looked at just like ISIS and destroyed.
Well, Bruce, I can hear it in your voice. You sound exasperated, passionate about what is happening. I know you're following closely as you're getting ready for your season. I can't thank you enough for spending a few minutes with us. Your perspective is certainly valuable, Bruce. Thank you for your time.
Well, Greg, I just pray for all the people that are there, and I do pray for the Palestinians that are just victims of this terrible leadership, and I pray that the United States, Israel's greatest ally, will stand by Israel through this very, very difficult time. And Greg, thank you for having me on.
It's my pleasure, Bruce. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you down the road. Best of luck with your season.
Thank you, sir.
For over 6 decades, Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland has made wishes come true for everyone. Now through Wednesday, we're celebrating with great gifts at great prices throughout the store. Like half off a Presto Pizza Pizzazz, 20-pound bags of KT Nut and Fruit Blend bird food just $28.99, and Paw Patrol Mighty Movie vehicles start at $17.99. Plus, donate new unwrapped toys to Kids Helping Kids and we'll match gifts up to $250,000. Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland, where wishes come true for everyone.
Who thought you could have just as much fun outside as inside? Hi, everyone. Debbie Lazaga here for Comfort Awnings. And now that I have my brand new retractable awning, I have the ability to just relax outside without worrying about the sun beating down or the rain coming down. That's right. I've been able to relax outside while it's raining. So peaceful. Who knew? Well, the guys at Comfort Awnings knew. They came out and took a look at the backyard and my patio area, and we were able to pick fabrics and models, easy peasy. And a couple of weeks later, boom, installed and ready for relaxation without ever having to travel anywhere. It's just there in my backyard. If you're looking to be able to expand your living space, give the guys at Comfort Awnings a call. And now is a great time to do that since you'll get a free motor with the purchase of awnings or screens until the end of this month. Call them up at 414-AWNINGS or for a free estimate or visit comfortawnings.com.
I thought I was going to have to go through a hip replacement or some painful, unsuccessful surgery or be crippled the rest of my life.
Electrical engineer Dan Vogler had awful arthritic pain in his hips. Pain that not only affected him physically, but also emotionally. And it spilled over even to his relationships.
I was almost mean. If you're in pain and other people don't sympathize with it, you're lashing out at the wrong people.
But then Dan found QC Kinetics. With the latest advances in regenerative medicine, non-surgical treatments with lasting relief.
I felt immediate relief. I mean, within half a day, much of the inflammation and pain was down.
And today, Dan says he's totally pain-free, living the life he wants.
At the end of the 4th treatment, I felt pretty much healed and enthused and was raving about QC Kinetics. I can recommend them highly to anyone.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
There's a reason people sold to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
Not only did we receive a fair offer, but we were able to take as much time as we needed and could leave the house a mess.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
The famous Fox and Hounds and Mineshaft restaurants are hiring servers, bartenders, bussers, food runners, and barbacks. It's a great part-time job for high school and college students and retirees. Make real money. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today. Start next week.
October is here, and Griffin dealerships have a spectacular deal just for you. We'll change your oil, check your battery and air filter, inspect and rotate your tires, give your car a complete multi-point inspection, all for $129.95. Worried about your AC or heat? We'll check that too, and we'll even replace your wiper blades. Where quality meets the spirit of October. Don't be spooked by car trouble. Let our expert team take care of your vehicles. Visit Griffin for details. Embrace the magic of the Griffin dealerships today.
Traffic is sponsored by Smart Spaces. Adapt to the modern workplace. SmartSpacesWI.com.
How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Creating technology, great culture, spaces that people really want to come to, attract talent, and keep that talent.
SmartSpacesWI.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:32. I'm Jessica Gatso. Your top story, one step closer to funding repairs at American Family Field.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Well, that accident at the Loomis southbound at 894, that's gone, but we do still have delays around the area and another accident in Ozaukee County. As a matter of fact, northbound 43 has the right lane blocked just north of Highway C, and that's all because of a broken down vehicle that's stuck right in the middle of the construction zone. So it's just south of Lakefield Road, if you know where that is. We're seeing backups all the way back to the Highland House, that Highland exit there. So just be careful. Give yourself that extra time to get through that. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 46. On Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a few showers, breezy with a high of 65. At 5:33, it's 59 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, efforts to find a multi-decade funding bill for American Family Field push on.
Shall Assembly Amendment 1 be adopted? All in favor will signify by saying aye. All opposed signify by saying no. The ayes have it.
The fate of funding for AmFam now in the hands of the state Senate following a vote of
69 ayes and 27 noes.
The legislation allocating $545 million for repairs at the stadium that include updates to the roofing, HVAC, and other maintenance issues. Approval, though, didn't come without some healthy debate.
There's a famous phrase, stick it to Milwaukee, that is being seen today.
For over 5 years, our baseball stadium in Milwaukee stood empty. Let's be sure we never let this happen again.
In a statement following that vote, the Brewers applauding the state assembly's work. Mike Spalding, WTMJ News.
Updates on the large police presence outside James Madison High School at 81st and Florist this afternoon. Milwaukee police say they responded to a large fight at the school just before 2 p.m. No injuries were reported. At this time, 4 students were arrested. No weapons were located. The investigation is ongoing and students have been dismissed for the day. A student also had a medical emergency unrelated to the fight. Tragedy strikes the Arrowhead High School football program and the community at large. Tom Taraska, who transformed the school's football program into a powerhouse, was killed over the weekend in a car crash. According to police, the 71-year-old died after a single-vehicle accident in Heartland. During his tenure at Arrowhead, Taraska amassed more than 250 victories and led this team to 4 state championships. He retired in 2010. The preseason continues for the Bucks tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Coverage begins following the 6 o'clock news. The Packers signed veteran running back James Robinson. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 5:35.
News sponsored by Holiday Automotive, Highway 23 in Fond du Lac, and online at holidayautomotive.com. It's worth the trip. Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac, where the SUV season sales event is on. Great timing to experience for yourself the advanced driving technology and standard iActive all-wheel drive that's built into every new Mazda car and crossover. Holiday is the destination to navigate today's car market with confidence. Get more Mazda for your money and more for your trade. Say yes to enticing offers like finance rates as low as 2.9% APR on many Mazda favorites, while you enjoy Team Holiday's transparent, simplified buying approach and genuine award-winning guest care. That's the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over and I'm one of them. It's passionate fans who have helped Holiday earn top honors as the Badger State's only recipient of the prestigious Mazda President's Club Award, Wisconsin's #1 Mazda dealer and top-selling Mazda certified pre-owned dealer. Find yours and discover the difference during the SUV season sales event on now at Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and at holidaymazda.com. Holiday Mazda, it's worth the trip.
So I came to Advent because I was experiencing recurrent sinus infections. As a new mom, it was really kind of difficult.
Many of our patients complain of sinus infections. The headaches, fatigue, and nasal stuffiness have a profound effect on their lives.
I just felt like your sickness starts affecting your energy level and, the things that you really enjoy doing. That really was a breaking point for me.
So Molly came to Advent. Abnormally tight sinuses and swollen turbinates led to simple breathing triangle solutions that ended up taking about 20 minutes in office. And very soon thereafter, she was breathing freely.
I'm just in awe at the amount of air that that I'm able to breathe in and out each night, and I haven't had a sinus infection since the procedure.
I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. When you breathe well, you do live better.
Results may vary. If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved, but here you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
.538 on WTMJ. Greg Matzik and Amy Taylor with you until 6 o'clock. We've got Bucks basketball tonight as the preseason continues. We have some rain in Minneapolis area. Might that impact what we do here in the state? I don't know. But Kristen Kershane, it was a beautiful fall afternoon, beautiful fall day.
Yes.
Looks like a good portion of tomorrow will be pretty good as well.
Yes. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a decent day. Maybe not quite as nice as today. It was really nice out this afternoon, and it was so sunny, and the winds were nice and light if you were standing in the sun. It just felt great. Tomorrow will be a little warmer. We'll make it into the mid-60s, it looks like. There's a trade-off, though. The mid-60s come with more clouds compared to today. Some breezy winds out of the south, gusts between 20 and 30 miles an hour, and a few isolated showers. So, Greg, you mentioned not a ton of rain with this, and in the morning and the early afternoon, maybe an isolated shower. Really, the better chance will hold off, I think, until the late afternoon and into the evening for any rain on Wednesday. So overall, not a bad day.
It's that weird time of year where 55 can feel wonderful and warm with the sun, or it can feel bone-chilling cold.
So true. So true. Last night we were out and it was cold. I was using hand warmers for my live shot last night. It felt really chilly last night. And it did get cold last night, you guys. We dropped to 38 in Milwaukee. Inland, Watertown, and Madison were in the 20s last night. It was the coldest night that we have had since early May. So if you thought it was chilly this morning, you were right. It's the chilliest that we've been in quite some time. Not going to be quite that chilly tonight, though.
Hey, that's okay. A little frost on the ground. It seemed to warm up in quick time. My girls wore their coats to school, and I'm sure by the time recess came around, they didn't need them. But that's what I expect in the fall, Kristen.
In the fall, yes, exactly. So as we get into the next couple of days, we're not going to hold on to the mid-60s. Looks like low 60s Thursday with a few scattered showers. Friday, the day looks dry. Friday night plans or the first part of Saturday may be impacted by a little bit of rain. So again, Friday night, early Saturday, but none of the next couple of days, although Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday all have at least a chance for rain. I want to stress it's not going to be a washout, and we're not going to see rain consistently that whole time. This is not like last week's system where we had a ton of rain either. I think rain totals are going to be anywhere from a couple tenths of an inch to maybe as much as 3/4 of an inch over that 4-day period of rain. But again, a lot of dry time in between. We will drop back into the 50s Friday through the weekend.
Sounds good, Kristen. We'll check in again tomorrow. Appreciate your time.
Of course.
It's Kristen Kershane, TMJ4 meteorologist. Check her out 6 o'clock tonight and at 10 on TMJ4. Major Garrett, Chief White House correspondent. After this, it's 541 on WTMJ.
I'm Susan Hiller from Hiller Ford on Highway 100. Have you seen the exciting all-electric Mustang Mach-E? It's a really hot-looking car. We have a great selection of 2023 Mustang Mach-E's in stock. They all come with factory rebates up to $9,250. That makes it a truly great deal. This and many more great deals await you at Hiller Ford. Stop in today and see how much you can save, and see why so many people love to buy from Hiller Ford.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Garage door broke. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Need a new garage door. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new CHI maintenance-free garage door. In fact, a recent study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%, ranking #1 among all home improvement projects. To see our huge selection of doors, come visit us at our Brookfield location or view our online showroom at geisdoors.com. We have everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, call Geis at 262-784-4250 or visit us online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Hi, I'm Susan Hiller with Hiller Ford on Highway 100. Well, it's that time of year again. The leaves are falling, and so are our prices here at Hiller Ford. Right now, we're offering 1.9% FlexBuy financing for 66 months on 2024 Ford Edges. Plus, you get a $2,000 factory rebate. We also have over 70 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicles. There's a lot to choose from at Hiller Ford. Stop in and find out why so many people love to buy from Hiller Ford.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
Traffic is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Retire well with Kowal.
Did you know that fall is the perfect time to get your financial house in order and prepare for the year ahead? Don't wait. Schedule your retirement review with our fiduciary advisors at thekowalway.com.
Wrapping things up with an earlier accident on northbound 43 in Ozaukee County having been cleared up. It was actually a broken down vehicle just north of Highway C, so just something to keep in mind. A little bit backed up through that construction zone. The southbound side is going to be slowing down from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive, all the way to about, I would say Locust, the northbound side. Heavy from North Avenue up past Keefe. East and westbound 94 still pretty heavy from 84th Street, actually, eastbound all the way through the stadium. The westbound side is going to be slow from about 20th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
It's Tuesday. That means time to check in with Chief White House correspondent Major Garrett, and unfortunately nothing is going on. We have nothing to talk about here with Major. Can't believe we have stumbled through this, Major.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack, and I don't think we're going to get to all of it, but we'll try.
We may not. Let's start with the House Speaker vote today. Were you surprised? There were conflicting reports that Jim Jordan was starting to sway voters in his favor. That ultimately did not work out. Now we're back to square one. Any surprises to you with today's vote?
I was surprised at the number of holdouts because it was larger than had publicly identified themselves. It was 20. Most people I had been talking to in GOP leadership ranks on the House side thought it would be 10 at the most, possibly lower. And with a threshold that close to the magic number of 217, they thought they could have another vote right after that and sort of engage members on the floor and wear them down in order to get unity and get a speaker.
So you thought
That's not
you're saying,
possible.
Major, when you say holdout, you're saying people you expected them to not support. You expected them to support Jordan, not you personally, but that was the sentiment.
When I use the word, so what GOP leaders were thinking going to the floor today was the maximum number of votes for someone not named Jim Jordan would be 10 or lower, and it was 20. So what does that difference mean in practical terms? The difference between 10 and 20. Well, they thought, meaning GOP leaders and Jordan's allies within his office, thought if it's 10 or lower, then you have another vote right away on the House floor, because you can wear them down in conversations and make them cast that vote again and again and basically force them to relent and get a speaker, because they thought it was close enough within 10 votes to do that. They no longer think that. When it's 20 votes, they have a lot of work to do. And I'm not convinced, and no one I've talked to subsequent to that first vote is convinced that Jordan can do it. And here's the reason why. Those 20 not only are reflect unease broadly among the Republican conference about Jim Jordan as being speaker, they have very particular political interests in not being associated with the Jim Jordan speakership. They doubt whether or not they could be reelected in a general election with that. And there are other Republicans similarly positioned who voted for Jordan the first time who may not be there the second time. They may say, look, Jim Jordan, I told you I'd be with you on the first ballot. It's a tough vote for me, but I'm not going back to this well a second time. And so I think everything is in a very fluid circumstance right now. I don't know if Jim Jordan, if he has another vote today, will get 200 votes, which is what he got the first time. He may get less than that. If you get less than that, then the trajectory starts to demonstrably go against you, and you find yourself the new Steve Scalise, who just has to throw in the towel because there's no chance.
Well, interestingly enough, he did receive some votes as well, but Jim Jordan didn't even receive more votes than anyone else. I didn't even know Hakeem Jeffries was in the running, but here we are. He received 212 votes. What does that say about the process?
Well, what that says is Democrats, as every minority party is unified for their person, because they know unless there's some extraordinary compromise, much talked about, but nowhere near to being put in motion, he's not going to be the speaker. So you don't vote for somebody else. You maintain party unity. That's the only way the minority has any chance of flexing any muscle, atrophied though they are when you're in the minority in the House of Representatives. So what it also suggests is we're unified. We know what we want to do. That side over there, the majority party, still doesn't know what it wants to do. And the majority party is in charge of the House. We're not functioning because the majority party doesn't know what to do or how to get there. But we're going to be unified because we know what we want to do. And if some Republicans over there want to talk to us about maybe a compromise speakership and the rules on which that would occur, we're willing to talk about it. But the only way you can do that is to show your absolute unity behind one person, in this case, the Democratic minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries.
So we're seeing some reporting that the Senate isn't going to wait for the Republicans to elect, that they want to move forward on some of this legislation, especially for Israel. Are you hearing that?
Sure. Well, yes, of course. And the Senate can. The Senate can move its own legislation, which it has to, though, send over to the House. But it's not going to wait for the House. And one of the ways it can do this is there's pending legislation in the Senate that originated in the House. You can tack on anything you want to do for Israel, Ukraine, maybe Taiwan on that House-originated bill and meet the constitutional test of a House origination. Then you send it back to the House. It still has to go back to the House for approval, but the Senate will probably go ahead on that just to try to create some sense of legislative momentum and intention to help Israel, help Ukraine, possibly also Taiwan, but certainly Israel and Ukraine.
Chief White House correspondent Major Garrett joining us on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Switching gears here, Major, President Biden will be on the ground in Israel tomorrow to meet with both Israeli and Arab leadership. What message do you expect him to send?
A very consistent one, but with I want to use my words carefully here because I don't want to suggest the president is going to be anything other than forthrightly behind Israel's obligation to itself and to its citizens to not only defend itself, but to carry out military action against Hamas, for more than 1,300 Israeli civilians slaughtered on October 7th. However, the president will also say things like following the rules of war and adhering to a generalized support to relieve, if it can be negotiated, the suffering of non-Hamas Palestinian civilians. In the Middle East, using careful language is among the very first diplomatic rules you learn. And you can be supportive of Israel and its right to carry out its military objectives and look out for the interests of Palestinian civilians. But oftentimes in that region and broadly, one audience hears one thing but not the other, or the second thing but not the first. What we do know about this trip is there will be no ground invasion while the president is flying to Israel, in Israel, or having just left Israel, because the United States government does not want to sound or look on the global stage as if it is sounding the trumpet to announce the ground invasion. And also, the president wants to meet face-to-face with Arab leaders and say, look, there is a humanitarian crisis for the non-Hamas Palestinians, and you need to help out. You can no longer say this is only an Israeli or an American problem. If you care about the future of the Palestinians and their ability to live free of Hamas, you've got to help out in this circumstance. Because Israel has made it clear, Hamas will be eradicated one way or the other. And if the Arab nations don't step in to assist the non-Hamas Palestinians, they will suffer more than if they do. And I think that's another message the president will send. He may not say it in the words I just used. He may convey most of those things I just said privately, but that will be among the messages delivered.
He is the chief Washington correspondent and the author of The Big Truth. And check out his podcast, the Tick Out Podcast and The Debrief on CBS. Major Garrett joins us every Tuesday here on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Major, thank you so much. We'll check in again next week.
Thanks.
Always incredible insight from Major Garrett, chief White House correspondent here on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. We are out of time. I'm back again tomorrow. John will be back on Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bucks basketball is next on WTMJ. Hey, the future of joint pain relief is right here in Milwaukee. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine, and it's amazing. Hey, it's Greg Matzik. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your own body's healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, or your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Hey, life is all about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Again, 414-285-3474.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
The Milwaukee Public Museum receives a $2 million gift from Ross and Mary Reed to its Wisconsin Wonders campaign, which will build a new museum in Milwaukee's historic Haymarket District. First Stage, a United Performing Arts Fund member, appoints Danielle Grambo as its new managing director. A Milwaukee area manufacturer, Process Retail Group, will close its New Berlin plant, resulting in over 60 layoffs. This comes after the business was sold to an Ohio firm. I'm Margaret Notchak with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
This report is sponsored by Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart.
In the past 70 years, there's something that has never changed. The kitchen. Oh, it may look a little different as the decades have passed, but it's always been where family gathers for meals, memories, and more. Wisconsin Kitchen Mart has always understood that and remains dedicated to making that important space special.
With an expansive 18,000 square foot showroom filled with full-size displays featuring Play-Doh custom cabinetry, award-winning designers, plus their own in-house installation department, let Wisconsin Kitchen Mart transform your kitchen into a true gathering place.
I'm Robert Iskey, Vice President and Designer from Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. We've been remodeling kitchens and baths since 1951 and can help establish a vision for your remodel. We bring the carpenters, plumbers, electricians, and everyone else needed to make your dream kitchen a reality.
Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart on the corner of West Wisconsin Avenue and 36th Street in Milwaukee. Online at wisconsinkitchenmart.com.
WTMJ's Jeff Wagner.
Maybe, just maybe, these judges need to start learning that light sentences are not doing anybody a favor. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And in what I fully consider this to be a crime against mankind, you will find pumpkin spiced beer. Pumpkin and beer, to me, you can have pumpkin pie and wash it down with a beer, but pumpkin spiced beer, I'm sorry, I'm not down with that. Yeah.
Weekdays from noon to 3 on WTMJ.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft Greystone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft Greystone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Hey, Brian. I think it's time to get serious about new windows and front door for our home.
I agree. It will save us money in the long run to eliminate the draft.
I was thinking more about our curb appeal, but yes, the draft thing too.
J&J Contractors in Greendale have been around for 40 years and have great reviews.
Go give them a call.
J&J Contractors' skilled and certified team uses high-quality materials for all your exterior needs. J&J Contractors do it all. Windows, doors, siding, roofing, and gutters.
Your locally owned hometown station gives you the news and what it means to you. Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 6 o'clock, it's 59 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 46. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. The Gaza Health Ministry saying Israeli forces bombed the Baptist hospital Al-Ali in Gaza, killing at least 500